everyone, and welcome to the QT premiere episode.
Oh my god.
We made it. We made it there.
We did it.
I am recording. I have all of everything live, so there's no muted audio like there wasn't in the intro on the first attempt. That's going to be cut out. So...
Does that count as fucking up the intro?
Yes.
CP?
Oh, I fuck up the intro by nature.
Yeah, but there was a vote.
Hello, everyone. I hope you are looking forward to living in the 90s for a little bit. We'll get into that momentarily. I'm Sheepdog. I run the Wandering Inn. Welcome to anyone who's come over from the lovely cast members who have all pushed you over here. And yeah, I run this TTRPG channel where we do shows. It's a lot of fun, and for anyone returning or anyone new, if you're interested in any of the cast members, links are below on stream and also on the VOD on YouTube. So you can click on any of them, check them out. If you're like, wow, this person's interesting, I don't know them yet. Go know them. Past that, if you enjoy the shows, there is a Patreon, which essentially the money from the Patreon goes directly into paying the cast. So we pay the cast, and all of that is funded via the Patreon. So the more people who pledge on Patreon, the more shows I can run. Essentially, I didn't want to make 6 shows a week and have to pay cast wages for all of that. So we started with 1, and we're working our way up. If you're interested, there's also a Twitter where I announce when there are shows and sometimes put teasers and trailers and stuff on. You may have noticed that there have been intros to all the characters with their theme song, which was a lot of fun. Additionally, past that, obviously, following, liking videos, subscribing to places, all that kind of thing. Don't worry too much about supporting on Twitch in terms of subscriptions or that. It's much, much better if you go check out the Patreon. No shade to Twitch, but the split's better on Patreon. Thank you very much. Additionally,
Facts are facts.
It is what it is.
Can't deny.
I'm just telling the truth. You can't punish me for that, I hope.
It's like whatever.
Fingers crossed.
Additionally, there is a Discord. For example, you can see the map in the bottom left of the overlay. That is the map for QT. We will be referencing it on occasion. There is also the dice tray thing. It shows the dice rolls when we roll them on Roll20. That probably won't be up that much, but we'll roll occasionally, I'm sure. We'll see. And yeah, on the Discord you have things like the map for QT you can talk about, you can hear about upcoming shows. I also ping everyone when the show goes live, so if you want notifications, Twitter or Discord is probably the way to go. I also occasionally do gaming streams on Discord where people come and chat and we talk about horrific things. It's great fun. Having said that, because it's the first episode, one of the first things we do before everyone loses interest and falls asleep is we introduce the cast, because they are an integral part of what we do here. So I will pass it off to someone and they can hot potato. Looking at the cast, the one least prepared is probably Syrinx, because she's muted. Syrinx, introduce yourself. What do you do?
It's just one button, Sheepy. It's one button.
No one was drinking anything or had anything, eating anything, so I had to go with that.
Oh no, I'm so unprepared, Sheepy. Oh my god, why are you calling me out like this?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Better now. Hey everyone, I'm Syrinx. I'm back for the Monday show. I will be playing Cecilia Grayson. Very much looking forward to it. Not looking forward to going back to high school, but we'll see how that goes. Especially with this lovely bunch of eclectic high schoolers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can find me as Syrinx on Twitter and on Instagram, and I mainly do cosplay. I don't cosplay that much anymore. I just do TTRPGs mostly. So yeah, there you go. And I will hot potato it over to LZT, who has color right now in his camera.
Yay!
I had some issues before. Sorry, that's my bad. Might be a little bit late because I'm fucking around with the camera. Hi, I'm LZT. I also have a longer version of that name. Don't worry about it. I'm around. I play games and
Been playing a lot of Eco.
at the moment I'm playing a French guy on Eco.
Oh.
It's very exciting of doing a very stereotypical shitty French accent. And if anyone says you don't sound French, he claims to be French Canadian. So that works. Other than that, I do leatherworking and stuff on my channel, and you can find me everywhere at Lima Zulu Tango. That's oh yeah, I'll be playing William Grayson. That's not right. William Robinson. Danger, Will Robinson.
Will Robinson.
That's me.
You can hot potato it off to.
Oh, I'm gonna
whoever you
hot
like.
potato it over to Distracted Elf.
Oh, hello. It's me. I'm Distracted Elf. I've played in many a TTRPG in the past, and you can find me at twitch.tv/distractedelf if you want to. For right now, a lot of fighting games if you're into that. And I'm gonna be playing Victoria Whitlock, or Tori, as she is known. A little outside my comfort zone as a character, so this will be fun. This will be a good time. Go ahead, Katie.
Who are you gonna hot potato it to?
The only person left.
I wasn't prepared. I hate talking about myself. What up? My name is Classy Katie, but I go by CK because there's a whole lot of Katies in the world.
Are
And I'm
all
not
of them
that classy.
classy though?
That's subjective, I would say. I stream and talk a lot, and sometimes we talk about medical stuff, and sometimes talk about butts. You should hang out.
There you go.
And I legally smoke a lot of recreational substances.
Sweet.
Cheers.
So, a couple of forewords for the show. We are set. It is set in America, in the US, somewhere.
Living in America.
Yeah,
Wait, what was that?
somewhere not too specific, but think maybe northeastern, and it is set in the 90s in high school, considering that there is only one American here, and and one kind of pseudo-American is Canadian.
I reject that.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's fucking rude,
Entirely.
man.
Thank you.
Apologies. Come rejoin us when you would like.
By stumps off.
Harsh.
If only.
Yeah. But essentially, we won't be 100% up on American high school and stuff. There may be some things where you're like, that doesn't make much sense. Just assume it's because we're ignorant foreigners.
Look,
and,
it's TV high school, okay?
Yeah.
It's not real
Yeah.
high school, all right?
Anything goes. Aside from drinking tea, of course, that doesn't go. Additionally, the 90s was quite a long time ago. If someone suddenly is walking around with a Apple phone with all their music and taking camera pictures, let it go. It's unlikely we'll do anything like that, but some of us weren't born in the 90s, so.
We're gonna try and keep it chronological over here,
Yeah.
but there's no promises necessarily.
Some of us weren't born in the 90s. Some of us were born in the 80s.
If anything happens that doesn't make sense for the 90s, kind of like mid 90s, then just assume that it's magic and I'll explain it later, or we'll just never reference it again.
It's more of a 90s vibe. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
So, with all of that said, how about we get acclimated to our new town? Welcome.
Let's. Sorry.
The timing.
LZT, can you just not interrupt people? You're rude.
Oh,
Dude, seriously.
Sorry, that's my.
Okay, so welcome to Quail Town, also known as the QT. Another nickname for it is the Quiet, just purely because it is a fairly rural town where not much happens. However, that's only on the surface, because, as we all know, there is always other places, other worlds, strange, unexplainable things and Americans being abducted by aliens. Apologies, America. In Quail Town, we have a fairly vibrant city, as such as it can be. You know, you have the bank, you have certain bars, shopping, restaurants, there's a McDonald's, you know, super high class stuff out there. You also have the Lake Amber. You have the surrounding woods and trees, forests, etc. Some farmland, some fields. You have the rich part of town in the center. You have the more poor part of town to the southeast. And very much as every town is, there are spots which are lesser traveled. You have the Dawson Mines up towards the north of town, a couple of parks which are a little bit overgrown, not very well maintained, and of course you have the high school, known very inventively as Quail Town High School. And this is where we are going to go and we are going to focus, as school is finally in session. It is in the mid-90s, 95, around late August, early September, when the schools have just started. You have been back at school for around a week or so. And as we move in closer to the town, to the high school, we go through the walls, pass through the gym, into the locker room, where a young lady has just finished changing out of her gear and is leaving the gym, walking out into the hallway. Cecilia. You're heading down the hallway. As you go, there are a couple of teachers who are busily kind of hurrying down, up and down the hallway. There's kids around, you know, it's not time for classes quite yet. The teachers, as they pass you, warm smiles, you know, like kind of nods of recognition, and the couple of students who look at you have this kind of very straight blank face, you know, not like, oh, we hate this person. It's like, who's that again? As you keep heading down past the auditorium where people do like plays and music type stuff, you keep going into a hallway of multiple small rooms, little kind of office type looking things. Lots of different kind of paper signs up on the top of them, things like that. The first one that you stop at is the Foreign Language Club, is what the sign says. You open the door and go in, and you are presented with an empty room with, you know, a few like shelves with books on and that type of thing, and a book in the center of the table.
It's nothing I really haven't seen before. It's basically been that way for a very long time. But honestly, it's one more club to be in. So I happily walk in, I take the book, I take out a little pencil, and I write down my name with a flourish. My name, again, after several times of it only being my name in the book. But hey, someone needs to shine here, and if people don't see the use of the Foreign Languages Club, then that's pretty much on them.
I mean, you're still benefiting from being in the Foreign Language Club.
I don't get why others aren't. Exactly. You need to do as much as you can, because otherwise, how will you get good in life, basically?
Exactly.
So I do definitely write down my name. Seeing as there's no one there, I will probably spend a little bit of time valiantly practicing French and other languages in the classroom by myself, it is somewhat difficult to do it by yourself. Like, you have the little dialogues that they have in the course books, and then you basically need to play both sides of the dialogue. It really helps with improv though, and I think through that you learn the language even more by playing both the client and the cashier.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just do a little practicing by myself, and after like a little bit of time has passed, I know it's time to. I have a few more names to write down. You know, it's all on a tight schedule.
So you close up your work. You close up the book, which is literally just a page. Oh, the open page is just date Cecilia Grayson, date Cecilia Grayson, over and over. And you leave the Foreign Languages Club, walk over to the other side of the hall, where there's another door with another piece of paper that says Photography Club. You open it up, walk in. It is a very similar scenario, except for there's a couple of pieces of camera equipment there.
Again, I really don't see the problem there. So it's been this way for a while now, and honestly, if it's only me on the pictures in the yearbook, that makes me stand out all the more. So I go in, do the same as I did in the Foreign Languages Club. I write down my name, a little flourish, a little heart on the E, and then I take up the camera, and I think I'll go practice a bit.
Okay. So sling the camera around your neck and head out kind of towards the outside, towards the fields.
Class isn't until a little while, so...
A little bit longer. As you're walking down towards, you see the vice principal, Julia Coffey, is walking kind of quite quickly and frustratedly down the hallway until she spots you, where she kind of like stops and says, "Oh,
Miss Coffey, smile."
Cecilia.
And I use the camera and I snap a little picture.
Yeah.
Without her being prepared, really.
Yeah, she's kind of like half taken between that initial like anger crinkles in her eyes and the surprise of like, oh, someone's taking a picture of me. So she's kind of like half in a pose, but not really. And there's like a half second where she's like frozen in that like half pose. And she shakes it off. She's like, "Cecilia.
Hi, miss.
Can you tell me, do you know who has been blocking the second floor girls' toilets? It keeps happening, and I've no idea who's doing it."
The second floor bathroom of the girls.
Yeah.
And she like looks left and right for a moment.
There's a couple of students in vicinity who are kind of like, they've got this look on their face which is like, really, again.
She does not notice that. When she catches the gaze of someone else, she just like smiles at them.
Yeah.
Like she thinks they don't know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Like this hasn't happened before. And so she kind of looks left and right, and she goes like, well, I mean, I suppose that it would be beneficial for you to know the name.
It would make sure that it would never happen again, which would be good for everyone.
Right, it would be good for the school. I would maybe look at the, you know, that girl with the like colored hair in my class. I would maybe look at her in the friend group. They do kind of things that are not so school spirited. So like I totally, it's not a name I said, but very specifically the girl with the colored hair with the two pigtails, kind of short, and doesn't really have that kind of school spirit.
Oh, of course. Thank you so much, Cecilia. As always, you've been so helpful. Do keep it up, dear.
It's really no biggie. Thanks, miss.
Enjoy your free time before class, and I'll see you soon.
See you soon.
And she kind of carries on, probably going to go and reprimand a certain girl with slightly coloured hair and pigtails and whatnot. As you keep going, you walk forward and out into outside to the sports fields. There's, American football field and track and field kind of going around it and that type of thing. Additionally, to the side, there is a large set of bleachers, which are essentially stands for an audience to watch sports. Sorry.
School sports.
School sports.
Sports ball.
And yes, you are outside, and you put your camera up, start taking pictures, and as you turn and kind of like do that little zoom in with the camera onto the bleachers, the camera follows our perspective follows the camera angle and shot as it moves under the bleacher to a group of kids who are lounging underneath the bleachers. There is one lady, I may have to put lady in inverted commas, and a couple of guys. And as we close in them, one of the guys is essentially complaining, and he says, I don't understand, like, all I did was go in for a kiss, and suddenly everyone's making a big deal out of it. It's not a big deal. The other guy next to him is kind of nodding and like looks like he's rolling something up in his hands, and says, absolutely, no big deal, nothing to worry about, nothing to have to talk about for the next, week or so. Don't you think, George?
I think anyone would turn down a kiss from that breath.
Hey now, that's not fair. I had a mint, like, a day before that, okay?
So dumpster and toothpaste. Cute.
No,
It's nice.
no.
No, it's a good look. It's fine.
Yeah.
No, I totally get it.
Yeah, no.
Stick with your current game. It's working for you.
I mean, like, who cares about her anyway, right? Like, she's part of Tori's group. She's all kind of too made up, too, I want to go with a bit more grime. I mean, not that much, George, but like some grime and ability
Your
to.
desperation is getting a little pathetic, honey.
Look, I'll have you know, I met someone new anyway. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
were they conscious?
Yes, they were conscious.
Good. It's a one-up on last time.
I met her in town. We chatted for a bit. She gave me a CD. It's these, and he like holds up this CD, typical CD case, and it says like "No Doubt" on the top of it, and don't speak. He's like, I've listened to this like 20, 30 times since she gave this to me. I'm pretty sure I know the lyrics by heart.
You met someone strange in our town that you'd never met before, and they gave you a random CD.
Yeah.
You're an idiot.
Why am I? What do you mean?
Is that a rotten orange with a maggot on it?
Yeah. I think it's kind of cool.
No, that checks out. She's gonna look down and she's gonna start like sketching the rotted orange on the bottom of her skateboard with the maggot with a Sharpie. You're great inspiration. If only we could make the board smell like it.
And the other guy who's been like paying attention to his hands as he's kind of rolling something up says, George, are we going to the skate park tonight?
Yeah, that was
Yeah?
the plan, right?
Yeah.
I don't have anything else to do.
The other guy kind of looks like he's hoping to redeem himself a little bit, maybe. Like chips in and says, You know, we have biology with Mr. Wiggins last. We could probably skip that and get out early.
Stand back when you talk to us,
I-
bro. I'm feeling more and more like that girl you tried to slobber on.
No offense, George. I think you'd be the last person I tried to slobber on.
Thankfully.
Yeah. But what do you think? We could skip out biology. Mr. Wiggins won't even notice, probably.
He doesn't even realize he's conscious half the time. Yeah, that's probably fine.
Exactly.
Probably get a better spot. Before the campers show up, you know. Did you fix your board? Or are you just showing up with 3 wheels again?
I might be a little
Yeah.
late to the...
3 wheels again.
No, not because of my board. My board's fine. But I'm meeting that girl today, just after school, and I won't be that late. I'll you know, like maybe half an hour.
Where are you meeting this person? Is this something we should worry about?
What? No, well, don't be weird. Why would you have to worry about it?
Everyone knows everyone in the QT.
Right. But people, I don't know, people move here, people leave here. Like, it's not a tiny town, you know. There's people I haven't met here before.
All right, fine, man. Just
She's-
don't let them
she's-
smell your desperation so hard.
No, no, she's just a nice, attractive girl who is interested in me. Is that so weird? And
If she has rope, just like don't tell me I didn't tell you so.
and Joel, the one who's kind of like rolling something in his hands, says that is actually kind of weird.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Screw me for caring, I guess. Have fun with your girlfriend.
At that point, as he's like opening his mouth to respond, you hear the shouts from back in front of the bleachers of Miss Rollins, the gym teacher, who's like, "Hey, I've told you before, you're not allowed to hang out down there. What are you doing back there?"
And we'll probably all kind of like
Yeah.
fuck some. We dropped something under the bleachers. Excuse me for being clean. Save the planet.
I see you, Georgette Cade. I want you to report to me at the end of lessons today, okay? And your 2 friends.
You see me, but you want me to. You know what? That's fine. Okay.
Yeah. So come and see me at the end of the day, okay?
Yep,
Good.
sir. And she'll like slug her backpack over her shoulders and just, hoodie. And they'll all kind of move as like those black hoodies just towards
Yeah.
the school very begrudgingly. Boards under their arms, kind of mumbling to themselves. She has 0 plans of going and, reporting to this person. By the way, if that wasn't apparent.
No, I suspect that even Miss Rollins has an inkling that she may not see any of you after
Yeah.
class.
Yeah, I think it was all for show. She doesn't want to see us. She would have done something right then.
Yeah.
For kids.
As you're heading inside and then in through the hallway, there's a certain amount of kind of like directed gazes and people kind of moving out the way. It's more of a, it's not like a fear or respect thing really. It's more of a not wanting to associate thing. It's something you're probably used to, so you don't notice too much yourself. And as you are heading down the hallway, Joel pipes up again and says, "Maybe we can head to the cafeteria. Jasmine likes you, right? She might give us something." Some food. I'm hungry. And he tucks into his pocket.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. And as both you and Joel like head off, Casey, who's the other one, like kind of like skips a little bit to try and keep up with you as he's just fallen behind a little bit in his own head, because heading in the other direction is a pack of girls who people are moving out of the way of, and as you're walking, you hit the shoulder of one of the girls, and just kind of like, it's not a massive like jarring kind of thing. It's just a little bit of a little bit of a bump, a little bit of a knock, and you both kind of catch each other's eyes for a second, pretend the other one doesn't exist, that this whole interaction didn't happen, and you keep moving on. As you keep moving on with your friends, the camera sticks with the girls. As Tori, you recover from bumping into Georgette.
Yeah, there's a little bit of like that stare, obviously the like, how dare you expression. And then it's gone immediately. Like as soon as Georgette is out of my sight, it's over. Like the interaction is finished. You know, like I don't even remember you exist. Doesn't matter.
The only acknowledgement is from Nicole, who does this kind of like semi kind of like disgusted cough, and she's like, "Oh, I can't believe Casey tried to kiss me."
Tori like looks at her while they're like walking along, you know, and there's this moment of like, yeah, I can't believe it either.
I mean, I didn't know what to do. Do you think I was too mean?
No. Have you smelt that guy's breath? God.
He needs a mint or 10.
And maybe like a shower once ever.
And some bleach. For the mouth and for the clothes.
All of that, I agree. 100%.
And one of the other girls, Rebecca, says, I don't even know why he tried. It's one of those things that you think is unthinkable until it happens, and then it's like, it's funk, you know?
He thinks that because he knows Aaron, he can get in with us, and that's just not gonna happen.
No. I mean, you know, like, the difference between Casey and Aaron is astronomical. Like, you know, even if it wasn't that personality, Aaron is better at basketball. He's more friendly, he's nicer. He's just a good person, you know?
I mean, when measured against Casey, that could be pretty much anyone.
And at this point, Nicole, who like brought up the conversation, is like, Casey's just so unimportant. We like don't even need to talk about him anymore. Like,
you're the one who brought it up, Nicole.
No, I know, but it's just, you know, like there's other more important things to talk about than that. Like, what have we got next? Philosophy? Yeah,
we get to sit and listen to. Is it Mr. Knight? Should be for philosophy. I think it is. We get and sit and listen to Mr. Knight drone on for an hour.
I've heard he's from England, so you know he's gonna be hot. That's right. That's right.
Whatever floats your boat, I guess.
I'm just saying, that accent, oof.
I feel like Tori's like, what the fuck is this conversation? You know, there's this expression that passes across her face that's like, why are we talking about this? Like, I'd rather insult Casey. You know what I mean? Like, the previous conversation was better than this.
Was more interesting. As you're walking down the hallway, you see Coach Tuttle walking towards you. Mm-hmm. And she stops in front of you and says, Victoria, Rebecca.
I actually stopped to pay attention, which is like, you know.
And Rebecca does too. The others kind of like settle down and like just kind of, they usually in groups of friends and things, you know, a teacher turns up and is like starts to talk to a couple of the friend group. They'll drift away. They'll go do their own thing. Very much the other two girls.
I maintain my orbit.
Yeah, they maintain orbit around you where they're just hanging around waiting for you to be done so they can pick back up with walking with you. Mm-hmm. And Coach Tuttle says, it was Laura, not Rebecca. Mm-hmm. Says, Victoria, Laura, I hope you remember that swim practice is starting soon.
How could I forget, Coach?
Good. We're aiming to we're aiming to do well this year. So we want a lot of competitions. We want to be winning them all. And I really hope that you have kept up with your practice.
Any year that I'm involved is the year we do well.
Exactly. Very good. Very good. Okay. In that case, do carry on. Sorry to interrupt you. You know, I know you've got important things to do. I'll see you at swim practice, yes?
Of course.
Perfect. Okay. And as she like steps around and past you, like she's kind of like grinding her hand into her fist. Like, this year we've got it. You know, she's like mumbling.
Hell yeah. The coach loves me. Hell yeah.
Yeah. You then essentially carry on, like start up. The girls pick up back into formation.
Yep. Over to class.
Yeah. And start walking back down the hall. As you do, the majority of the students are like moving out of your way or stopping and staring. This is very much a attractive girl group who are just kind of like, they're swanning, they're peacocking through the hallway. There is
running this shit is all I have to say.
Hell yeah. There is, however, one person who isn't quite concentrating, and as you sweep through the hallway, catches a shoulder, and as his shoulder is caught, he spins, and his the books and pieces of paper that he was carrying just fly across the hallway. I'm assuming it's just keep going. As you keep going, the camera stops and angles down as William.
I bend down and pick up all the papers while looking around, trying to see who I bumped into, because I was clearly not paying attention.
All you see is kind of...
You get a momentary scowl as you look up, and that's it.
Yeah. And you see an impression of pinks and peaches and, you know, the kind of very vibrant, colorful dresses and things along those way. I
immediately lose interest and go back to picking up my stuff.
Yes. So you're busy and you're picking up a couple of the books and you're putting them back together. When you think you've got all of them, you start to try and straighten up, and one last book is placed on top of your pile as you see a guy. You've seen him a few times. People have mentioned him. His name's Aaron. He's on the basketball team. And he's got this kind of like, you know, very friendly, warm grin on his face as he says, "Oh, you forgot one. There you go."
Oh, thank you.
You've got to watch out for Tori and her friends, because they will just eat you up in their wake if you're not careful.
I can't really see over the books.
Right. Well, you know, just be careful in general when you're in school, right?
Okay.
What's your name?
William.
William.
You can call me Will.
Okay. Well, it's nice to meet you, William. I'm Aaron, and you know, if you need anything, don't hesitate to ask. I'm always happy to help out a new student.
Oh, thank you very much.
For reference, you were here last year.
Yeah.
For at least a portion of last year.
Oh yeah.
All right, well, I've got things to do. Can't hang around chatting all the time. Good luck with your giant stack of paper, yeah?
Thank you. Thank you again.
He's already, like, walked and you know, he's kind of... As he goes, there's a few turning heads from some of the girls and some of the guys. Like, you get the impression that he's very well liked, and you got this impression before when you've seen him around the place. Seems to be a nice guy. I mean, he picked up a book for you and gave it to you.
Lovely. Thank you.
But you have something to do.
Yes. I make sure I have everything. Take a sweep around, make sure there's not a stray paper anywhere, and then I bustle up to the library.
Yes. And you kind of like going through, occasionally like dodging someone, or you know.
Yeah. Using my hip to open a door and stuff like that, so I don't have to let go of anything.
For the most part, you're not really noticed very much. So you do have to kind of like squeeze around a few people and, stay out of the way of people to a certain degree. If you're not careful, someone will bump into you again. But you do get to the library, and you kind of like use your foot to like push it open and walk in. And as you get in, you are greeted by the beautiful silence of a library. There's a few little kind of almost metallic like clicks, like you see the librarian who's behind the desk. She's kind of opening books and stamping them and going through them and stuff. And she's actually the person you went to get this stack of books and stuff for as well. It's part of the deal being allowed to use the library is that occasionally you'll do a quick
gopher
odd job. Yeah.
Yep. I head over to Miss Harmon behind the desk.
And the librarian, Miss Harmon, kind of pauses for a second as she's going through the books, like looks down on you, glasses on the end of the nose, and says, "Thank you, William."
Oh, my pleasure. Should I just put them here?
Yes, just put them there. I'll go through them in a moment, and as you put the books down, they kind of like drift very slightly along the desk, which is perfectly fine. You see, like, the books themselves are like kind of ornate and kind of like interesting leather books and things like that. Look older looking. One of them says like the history of witches throughout the ages, and another one is like the art of the vampire. And there's like the demon and the pauper, and there's all this kind of like. It doesn't seem like school books. This seems much more like personal interest type.
I throw an extra glance at the Malleus Maleficarum book.
Yeah.
before going over to the click sound.
And yes, you step away as she continues to mark the more normal looking books, and you walk through the stacks out into a little open area where there is a table with a chessboard on top with a couple of people playing chess together, another one where you had vacated to go and grab the books, and opposite you is Stephen, another member of the chess club, who is waiting for you to rejoin. And he says, "It took you a while."
Oh yeah, sorry about that. Wait. Is it my turn?
Yes, it is your turn.
Bishop take knight.
Clearly you had a lot of time to think about that move. And he picks up one and moves it. Doesn't really have much effect on the board. You actually already see that he's made himself more vulnerable with that move. He probably should have thought a little bit longer. But as the game continues, and the silence is only interjected with like little clicks, like eventually the girl who is part of the chess club but isn't currently playing a game, she is knees up in a big kind of ornate looking armchair with a big book like kind of mostly over her face. She's fairly small, so the book's looks even bigger on her. She suddenly pipes up and says, "William?
Yes?
Did you go to hand in the paperwork for the chess club? You have to hand it in to the counselor."
Move it another piece. And then... Oh no. No, I forgot.
Well, he's going to be gone soon if he hasn't gone already. You need to do it now, otherwise we aren't an official club until it's been handed in and it's been done.
Check.
William, now!
Check! And I get up and walk hastily out of the... run over until I get to a part where Miss Harmon can see me, and then I walk hastily out of the library.
As you're walking hastily, Miss Harmon says, "William,
Yes.
You left this form here. Is this important?
Oh yes. That's what. Thank you.
Go over, like, take it and.
Thank you very much.
So yeah,
Skedaddle.
Skedaddle. And head towards where the counselor's office is.
Yeah.
The counselor being essentially the chess club sponsor. The teacher who, is essentially irresponsible for the chess club. He's a nice guy. He doesn't really get super involved with the chess club. He just knew that there was people who wanted a chess club, so he agreed to sponsor it. So as you run down that way, and when you get to the counselor's office, you put your hand on the door, on the handle, try and open it, and it is locked because he has already gone home.
I knock on the door a few times just to make sure.
And the secretary, who's like in this kind of area where all the teachers' offices and the lounges and stuff, she kind of leans around her desk and says, "Are you looking for the counselor, dear?"
Yeah, I needed to hand in the form.
He's gone home for the day.
Uh-oh.
You'll have to do it tomorrow, I'm afraid.
Okay, thank you.
Don't forget, you're not allowed to do club activities until it's been handed in.
Yep.
Yeah?
Thank you very much.
Okay, good luck, dear.
Thank you. And dejected, I walk out into the hallway.
Heading back to the chess, to the library.
Heading back to the library.
Okay.
It's not a chess club. We just happen to be playing chess in the library.
It's definitely not a chess club now. Not yet. So you head back and you walk into the library, and it is completely silent now. You walk through the stacks, acknowledging Miss Harmon, who acknowledges you back. And when you get back to where the chess club, where the chess game was being played, you realize that Stephen has packed up with the chess kit and left before you officially got to win. The others have also packed up and moved on. The only one left is Bridget, who has that massive book curled up with her knees. She doesn't even acknowledge you turning up.
He's gone home.
Told you.
But did he leave? Did Stephen leave?
Yep. He said you lost because you had to forfeit.
I most certainly did not. I was up 6 points.
And as you're standing there, you hear the sound of the bell going ding, and it is time for class. And the camera fades on.
Will turns around, exits the library with the sound of "See you later."
Yeah. So, all of you head to your first class for the afternoon, which is philosophy and ethics, with your new teacher, apparently from England, called Mr. Knight, or his full name is Morgan Knight. I imagine.
First names of teachers, come on.
Yeah, that's more of a college thing, really, if at all.
Or a super disrespectful thing, I guess.
In small towns, though, as a small towner myself, not a lot of teachers who insisted we call him their first name because it was like hella casual. So like maybe a couple. I did have a couple. It was weird still. It's still weird.
Here, everything is first name basis. Everything.
This is a new teacher. So even if you are in general, some of the teachers you call by their first name, this one, you're not. He hasn't told you to call him by his first name. And as you all sit down, he is already there in his chair. As you all go to take your places, I would imagine, although it's something we can always touch on later. I imagine Tori and her group of friends essentially all sit down together in like a little block. Cecilia, most likely
all within note passing distance, of course. Yeah.
Cecilia up the front. Yeah. Georgette, probably in the back somewhere. And William, I'm imagining William's another front person.
The sweet burnout back row.
Back corner row, carving in the desks.
Oh, yeah. And as you walk in, you will notice that Mr. Knight is quite a bit older than you might have been imagining, especially you, Tori, from what everyone was saying. He looks in his... I mean, you guys are teenagers in high school, so he looks about 80. He's actually probably around 45 to 50.
I feel like this is when I'm giving... I feel like I'm giving Nicole just like the fucking dirtiest, like, what the fuck are you talking about?
She is staring at the ceiling like there's something super interesting there, because he's, like... he looks like a bit of a fuddy-duddy. He has, like, that, he has that, like, tweed coat with leather elbow patches, and he has kind of like fairly basic kind of glasses. Looks very standard middle-aged man, you know, moving towards the 50s, etc. And he waits for everyone to settle down. Takes a little bit of time. People are still, you know, in the early back to school feeling of, you know, it's only been like a week or so.
I feel like there is some laughing during this initial period of settling it before everybody shut up. You know what I mean? There's some laughing going on in my corner that's like directed at Nicole, like vicious mockery going on over here. Like, I can't believe you said those things about this guy. You know what I mean? Like, kind of stuff.
Yeah, so well, that's just what I heard. And anyway, even if he isn't sexy, the British accent still is, okay? I stand by what I said. Not about him, obviously, because
this is gonna... It's clear that, like, things are settling down at this point in the conversation, and so, like, it's clear this will come back up again. It's just, like, a point of derision.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh, for sure. It's friendly ribbing with a little bit of venom in there, as is the high school way.
It's friendly in maintaining your status, kind of friendly.
Yeah. However,
GP?
Yes.
What time of the day is it?
So this would probably be around 2 p.m.
Oh yeah, so afternoon. All right.
Yeah.
Then I do want to add, when everyone enters, despite it being a new teacher, Cecilia will 100% walk in and like greet the teacher, being like, "Hey, good afternoon, Mr. Knight." Totally.
Good afternoon.
I'm Cecilia.
Cecilia. Oh, Cecilia Grayson.
Yeah.
I've heard good things about you.
I am flattered that you say that, sir. I have also heard things from the teachers. They're very happy to have you here. I'm also very excited to see you give philosophy.
Oh, wonderful. Well, good. Do sit down. We'll be starting momentarily.
She'll sit down.
As you all settle down and everything, comes a moment when Mr. Knight stands up, and the majority of these students' attention is on him. I will say, for the sake of like how much you can get away with, you can probably whisper with each other, and you can probably not pay too much attention. You'll have to...
We're looking at like a desk's distance of communication if you're not passing notes. Yeah.
You can pass notes, you can kind of whisper at each other, you can be fairly subtle. You'll have to feel it out as to how much you can get away with, but that's like a vague feeling you get starting off. And as we go through. So, Mr. Knight stands up and he says, welcome everyone to Philosophy and Ethics. I am Mr. Knight. Please address me as Mr. Knight. Yes, I do have a strange accent. I'm not from here. However, once we get past that, I'm sure we'll get along brilliantly. My first ask from all of you is, to begin with, to forget the majority of what you have been taught so far. This is philosophy and this is ethics. Therefore, each teacher will be teaching different things in different ways via their own philosophy and what they believe. Therefore, the things you have learned already is now invalid compared to what I will be teaching you. The first question. Yes, miss?
Is it ethical of you to ask us to disregard all the previous teachings our other teachers have put their life into teaching us?
Good question. Is it?
I don't know. This is my first essence class near the teacher.
Well, then we'll figure it out together, hey?
Okay.
Good. What's your name?
George.
George. Oh, okay. So, my first question for the class. Why are you here? Why are we here?
I feel like there's a dead silence, as there often is when there's a first class question. Nobody wants to answer first.
Oh,
right?
I'm thinking there may be one person.
Yeah.
It's like a small amount of silence, and then it's kind of like Cecilia is doing the class a favor by offering her hand up first. So she will like, obviously to learn why we're here, Mr. Knight.
Yes. Anyone else? Why are we here?
I feel like there's a whisper from Tori to Laura that's like, because it was on our schedule.
And Laura kind of has a little bit of a laugh, and you hear Nicole, possibly trying to redeem herself, puts her hand up, and he goes, yes. She says, because it was on our schedule? And he goes, yes, good. Now, anyone else?
George.
Yes, George.
Truancy?
The fear of truancy.
Yeah.
Yes, good. Perfect. Then he looks around, and there's a couple more kids who start to put their hands up, and they suggest certain reasons, it's time for our philosophy class. And he's like, yes, good, that too. And because I didn't have anything better to do. And it's like, yes, good, that too. And as he looks around and he sees the majority, quite a few people have answered, he looks at the front row and he points at William. Says, you. What's your name?
William.
Right.
So,
why are we here?
To learn.
Yes, to learn. Very good answer. Very good. And then he kind of turns away from standing in front of the class back towards his desk. And as he walks, he says, that is the purest and simplest form of philosophy. Any question has multiple answers. And one of the things that I am here to teach you is to question, not to learn. Because what is the purpose of school? Why do we go to school? Is it to learn facts? Is it to be told that 2 + 2 = 4? Is it to learn a Pythagorean's theorem and be able to write down on an essay sheet exactly what the answer that you memorized is? Is school just a test to see if you can remember things? Or is school a place where you are supposed to learn how to think? So, moving forward, as we talk, and obviously we will cover ethics as well, but as we cover philosophy, I will do my utmost to help you think, as opposed to memorize.
Sounds like the exams are going to be easy. She says to Laura again.
Yeah. Laura kind of gives you this eye roll, like, oh my god, this is so inane.
What the hell is this?
But in the secret minds of high school teenagers, what are you so far thinking about this, everyone?
Will started writing because that's what he does. He
literally
memorizes by writing everything down.
He's literally memorizing what he's saying.
As the introduction gets looser and looser, he stops kind of writing it. I don't know what to write right now. I can't just write what he's saying because nonsensical.
Yeah.
So he just he kind of forcefully puts the pen down.
Moving on from Will, I'm curious, Cecilia, is there a little bit of like outrage there at all? Just in the case of like, you're not supposed to learn and do tests, you're supposed to think. Like, I don't know how Cecilia feels about kind of standardized tests and stuff.
Throughout the entire speech that he was giving, she would have been like, yeah, that's what we're supposed to do, like, right? Like, that's what we do in school and stuff. And she was like completely agreeing and nodding along. And then he was like, no, you need to think, you need to not learn by heart. And she was like, for a second, like, where is he going with that? And the moment he started like going the philosophical way of like, I'll help you think, she was like, oh my god, this guy is absolutely inspiring. I am in awe. And she was just like sitting there like her instinct was to say like, that is so inspirational, Mr. Knight. And she's just sitting there with this like expression.
In her head, when he finishes the speech, she's like standing up and applauding, and everyone else is like, it doesn't happen at all. But that's
one
like
of those
what
God
she
rays of
I
light.
I think she even prepares to clap, but then she looks left and right and she notices
everyone else is much more disconnected. And
so she quickly lowers her hands again. But there was definitely that moment, yeah. Bless her.
Georgette?
I'm thinking this is a trick.
Yeah.
Like, this is a joke. We're being tested. This is a test in itself. Like, if I agree with him, I'm gonna be like,
it's a prank,
somewhere.
bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, where's the candid camera before candid camera? Only some videos, I guess.
So, skepticism
Extreme
and suspicion.
skepticism and, like, I think this guy's a joke. Like, this is just a joke.
Yeah.
Same way I feel about, like, you know, dissecting Shakespeare and shit like that. It's a joke. Like, why are we doing this? Why are we dissecting art? And
It's that classic one of like, did you know, the student who says, did the writer actually mean for us to interpret all this stuff? Or are you just like making shit up? And they actually just wanted to write a story about some crazy king who killed his kid. You know, like,
I'm applying that to this guy. He either this is a trick or he just wants to be real special.
I just kind of outed teenage me when I was at school. Like, that's the kind of shit that I thought. Tori?
I feel like Tori probably had some kind of insightful reply that she held back in favor of catty remarks to her friends about it. Because you don't want to be the person. You don't want to be the person putting your hands up and being smart. Yeah, you gotta like be witty but like caustic. You know what I mean? And that's the only way to do it and maintain status quo. So she's like regretting the loss of a good answer, but also just like whatever.
And it may also
social status.
Out of everyone except for maybe Cecilia, I'm not sure how much this will stick with Cecilia. It might be something that Tori like actually thinks about later on in the privacy of her own head.
Yeah, I mean, like, the idea of, like, how to learn versus how to memorize is, like, important, right? Like,
it's an interesting concept, yeah. And it's not super normal for this time in schools, and, like, just kind of anywhere. That's more a thing when you get to college, maybe some colleges.
Well, especially this era, this was like the No Child Left Behind shit in America.
Yeah.
So every year education changed, and it really did this. Like we'd come to school and they'd be like, now you're gonna learn math through osmosis. Sleep on your books.
Yeah.
And we were like, what? So really, it was era of super dumb.
Yeah. As an additional point for those of you with friends, apologies for those who don't really have any.
That's okay.
50-50 in this.
I thought you were talking to chat. I was like,
no.
Sorry, chat.
Sorry, chat.
Sorry about your no friends.
So,
I'll be your friend, chat.
Tori, Laura appears, like, even though she rolled her eyes and everything, she appears to be paying attention at the very least. You can't have a window into her mind to know how much she actually thinks of this or how little. Nicole is kind of trying to get past the embarrassment of her teacher not being hot and being kind of an old fuddy-duddy. And also there's a little bit of like a pouty kind of disappointment as well, because
she's more upset that we made fun of her than that she doesn't necessarily get the lesson. Like we've already disrupted that process.
Yeah, she
before anything even begins.
She probably wasn't going to get the lesson anyway, and I'd say even more than being upset that you guys like poked some fun at her, she's more upset because she built this English gentleman up.
Yeah.
He was Prince William or something, like coming to teach her, and now she's like, oh, this guy's old and he dresses terribly. And
whoever told her these rumors is like really not. It doesn't have her best interest at heart.
And probably a lot of it wasn't even the rumors. It was just her building it all up in her head to the point where she was going to marry a prince and become a queen.
Classic.
As the teen ladies do.
Oh yeah. And Rebecca has kind of been a bit more silent. Obviously, like, Laura's your best friend. Yeah. So you tend to gel a bit more on, like, picking up each other's vibes. Rebecca sometimes is a bit outside, and you get the impression that... Yeah, you've been around Rebecca long enough, I think. You get the impression that she's smarter than she portrays herself as. So
I feel like that's true of probably 50% of my group. Including Tori. Right?
Including Tori, yeah. No, there's a little vibe of that for all of your friend group. But I would say if you do notice Rebecca in this moment, or if you look over at her, you'll see that she's a little bit more engrossed than she usually is. You may Tori would definitely pick that up. Yeah. She'd notice that. For
socially tuned into her friends, that's for sure.
Oh yeah. For George, Joel is almost asleep. Like he's got.
That makes sense.
He's got that. He's like, it looks like he's listening, but he's actually shielding his eyes from the teacher, and his eyes are closed, and he's just, and like, you know that at some point he is going to fall asleep, smack his head on the desk, and make a shit ton of noise. But you're just waiting for that moment to happen.
But if I like nudge him, then the apple that we stole from the cafeteria and turned into a tiny pipe will fall out of his hoodie pocket. So like, I don't have an option here. Do I watch in pleasure? I think I'll just watch him crash in pleasure.
Okay.
I don't know what else to do.
Casey is on the other side, and you can see that he's like doodling in his book, and he's trying to draw what you were drawing earlier, like the rotten apple and the skull and that kind of thing. And you can hear him like kind of mumbling to himself, and what he is essentially mumbling is like, "Don't speak. I know what you're saying, so please stop explaining. Don't tell me 'cause it hurts."
He's just singing under his breath.
Yeah. I mean, he said he learned the lyrics. Memorized
He really did. I'd probably kind of look over and be like, "Yo, bro, your tragic kingdom is contagious. Shut up."
I didn't even realize I was doing it. It's like an automatic thing at this point where I just... Like, it's absorbed into my mind, and most of my brain is the lyrics.
You could have picked a better album, but I guess here we are. God.
The rest of the class carries on much how it started. It essentially is the bare bones of this teacher's philosophy. Essentially, it's kind of laying the groundwork for the future, where he's questioning, he's encouraging you to question and to realize that there's more answers usually than just one. Except for, he's very dismissive of like maths and science, where there's like one answer and things like that.
Will is not impressed because he's a big fan of math and science.
He's a fan of math.
He's sitting here trying to memorize as many digits as possible to like Planck's constant or something, because he's already got up to a high number on pi. So now he's doing 6.626 times 10 to the negative 34 joules a second, and then writing down stuff like that. Because it's concrete.
Yeah.
Like
it's like he's got a crucifix in front of a vampire. Like he's trying to ward off the philosopher.
You're not gonna get in my brain.
Avort, demon.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. The class ends without anything too big happening. It turns out that Joel kind of fell asleep, but he was just dozing. He never like completely went, and you spent the entirety of the lesson basically waiting for him to smack his head on the desk, being like any second now. And then the bell goes and he like jerks up, and you're like, oh, shit. And it's time for your next class, which is World History with another new teacher.
Oh my god, so many new teachers. Yeah, great.
So strange how new teachers are just turning up in
floating into this small town. Yeah, weird.
Floating in on their little spaceships.
Well, I mean, there's always a great interlude between classes where there's like the whole locker situation, right? Where you got to go and like swap out your books or whatever, and talk about your 5 minutes between class. Like, I can't think of anything in particular that I want to like hit in that scene, but I don't know. It's good.
Yeah, if anyone wants an interaction or wants to talk to any of their friends or anything.
Yeah, George.
Yeah, I just want to like, I guess, ask you, or maybe just mention to my friends, like, what's with all the new teachers? Where did our teachers go? Like, I would imagine because we're not.
Like, we've probably had the same teachers for like a couple of years.
We're not freshmen.
This, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a small town, so like you've probably known these teachers. Like, I would probably be looking at the next teacher and be like, where the hell did all the old teachers go? And kind of have a weird moment about it. I don't know if we come to any conclusion.
I feel like I could work on that, Katie, and it just like it cuts from that you asking that question to like Tori's group, and like I don't know, like Rebecca's going like, I heard that Miss Harding like moved away because she met someone online, not online. It's 1990s. She met someone. And he got a job like way across the country. You know what I mean? Like there's just like a faded conversation.
Singles.
And then Nicole was like, oh, and also Mr. Rashford, I heard that he like got offered a job at like some university like out west somewhere. So,
Mr. Rashford got mocked relentlessly behind his back. A name like Rashford, come on.
Yeah.
The Rash.
I feel like his nickname was like Assford or something like that. Like not even Rash. It doesn't even make that much sense. It's not good.
It's not even good because high schoolers are stupid.
Yeah.
If it panned back, my friends just. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. We'd probably be talking about some conspiracy, like the water in the teacher's lounge was poisonous and half of them died.
Totally.
That was it. Just something way out of left field.
Yeah.
I think if there's like I guess seeing as Tori and George's like friend groups are a bit together at that point, and I think maybe some of the other students as well, because this is like a class-wide kind of gossip thing. I guess like Cece would see that, wait for a moment, and then like maybe hype herself up a bit of like, you can do this, like just there are lots of students there, like you can just like slightly ease in the conversation and add something in, it's fine. So in that whole conversation she'll probably say, interrupt me if I say something that you made canon sheepy and like you don't want to be canon. I imagine that Cecilia probably did some research.
Oh, Cecilia knows the teachers.
She knows where the teachers went.
She knows what actually happened. Which is super disinteresting. It's like not interesting at all, or gossip.
Yeah, so she probably would just like chime in. Like, I heard that Mr. Knight just like came from a very big city outside of America, and he just wanted like some peace and quiet. I also heard that he's married and he has kids and stuff like that. It's so boring, I know, but
as she's
really nice.
Talking, I imagine the whole group just kind of like slowly just dissolving around her, like, oh, she's gonna keep going.
Are you Are you getting into George's group of friends, Tori's group of friends, or just a kind of like general gaggle of students who are?
General gaggle, because she managed. It's not just one of the two of the groups there. It's like a bit of like the other students in there as well, because it's interesting for everyone.
Yeah, I would say like when she pipes up, there's a kind of like awkward pause, and a couple of the students are like look at her for a little bit of an uncomfortable time, and then one of them's like, yeah, I think I heard something like that too, and then they kind of like a couple more seconds and then shake it off and start talking again, and like the group doesn't close off away from her, but everyone kind of forgets, effectively forgets that she exists.
Is that worse?
Yes.
She's perfectly happy because like this way,
Cece.
imagine it. They're standing there. They're standing there, and then they'll also everyone needs to go to the same class after this. So it's like a big group moving. So she's excited to just move with the group.
Part of the group.
It does
Totally.
feel like she's part of the friend group of these,
Yes,
these
she just moves
students.
along.
So she's happy. That breaks my heart. Why are you doing this to me?
I should cry.
Payback's a bitch.
I think we all had a little bit of that in us, maybe.
Yeah.
Like I feel that so personally.
Yeah.
Everyone who went to school had that moment where they said something and everyone reacted in this kind of blank, like, and you're just like, man, hopefully the earth opens and I get swallowed in a second.
Most of us had many of those occasions.
Lightning bolt, please. Lightning bolt, please.
It wasn't a case of everyone had one many
Where's that
times.
mudslide or volcano that's supposed to erupt so many years ago? Damn it! Yeah. No.
Yeah,
I didn't experience that.
none of us ended up on Twitch because we were the high school prom king.
Oh.
We'd be working in the Lowe's hardware department.
Those people turned up later and are now on top of Twitch. When it was cooler.
The classic cool co-option.
Yeah. But it's hard being pretty, so like obviously you need to succeed in places
Look,
like
Tori knows.
like
Tori knows all about your troubles. Okay.
What a struggle.
It's a struggle. Being rich and popular, it's a struggle.
Okay, so moving on, as you as the bell goes again, signaling the next class, you all reasonably quickly move in and sit down and everything like that. And the teacher is not there, so you sit down and you I guess you talk and all of that kind of thing for a little while.
Is there anything on the teacher's desk?
Yeah. There's like
a folder.
There's a briefcase, like a full-on like classy looking briefcase.
And nothing else though, just a briefcase sitting on the desk.
Just a briefcase.
Okay. I would have looked around for a pen to steal.
Okay.
I feel like there's definitely discussion in Tori's little gaggle that's something to the effect of, if they're not here, then like we can leave, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that argument, by law, legally, if the teacher doesn't show up in 15 minutes, we get to leave school and go home.
Yeah.
But after about 5 minutes, the door does open and your teacher, Reuben Ashford, Mr. Ashford, steps in.
I'll probably look up for one very casual second to watch him walk to the desk and then continue my little carving into the desk with a pen.
You're using a compass. So
He's he's got a suit on, a very nice black suit with a red tie with a little pin in it as well.
Damn, fancy.
Mad Men style, all right.
As he steps
Even
in...
It's the 90s, so shoulder pads, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Even Cecilia finds it a
wear them
bit
shoulder
strange
pads,
in
too.
high school.
Yeah. And he has dark rimmed glasses, small circles. And as he steps in and he gets to the desk, opens his briefcase, just opens it. You can't see what's inside it because it's pointed towards him, and he looks up and he says, "Welcome to world history. I hope everyone's ready to learn." And he
We'll
looks
start
One too
writing
many
because
packs,
finally it's
yeah.
something that's actually like.
So ready.
Will starts actually writing down stuff because now it's like, oh, finally something to actually learn instead of, whatever that other guy was
Will
talking
just lets
about.
out the sigh.
Yeah, no. Will has pen in hand.
Will's like, dates, let's go.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, this isn't like your regular history. Your US history goes back a couple hundred years. This is ancient history as well. Thousands of years and more.
This guy's
So-
intense. I love him.
So tell me, who knows of Julius Caesar? Yes, you, little man up front.
Lil man. New nickname.
Roman Emperor, 2,000 years ago. Julius Caesar Augustus.
Very close, but he was never an emperor. He was killed before he was able to become one. Anyone else know anything about Julius Caesar? Yes, angry girl in the back.
Sure.
Wasn't he kind of pork roasted by his bestie?
You mean stabbed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spit. Stabbed.
Julius Caesar, the most powerful, influential, successful man in ancient Roman history, taken down by scared men in dresses. Stabbed by his best friends, people who had already betrayed him, people who he forgave and let back into his circle. An interesting fact about the death of Julius Caesar. Barely any of the people who betrayed and stabbed him actually hit the target. Most of them stabbed each other or didn't even try.
This is me in and out right now. I'd probably laugh at that too.
Cecilia is very intimidated.
I feel like Tori's like, I don't know about that. I don't know.
She's like, so the rumors that he killed the guy may be true after all.
yeah, like
think-
this level of intense is like, this teacher is maybe a little more intense than you could fuck around with.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, one of my buddies, Casey'd probably raise his hand and be like, yeah, but didn't you get like the dopest bee out there though? Yeah, man, what's up? And, like, some of that Clio. We know how sick it was.
Sure, anyone who manages to attain power can reap the benefits as long as they're able. But if you consider that Julius Caesar had some of the sickest power in history, he was still taken out by 53 old men who barely knew which end of a dagger to hold when they tried to kill him. What does that say about power?
Tori just
Yeah,
that anyone can have it 1 second and then not the next.
it's very transient. And it's dependent on the people around you being willing to let you maintain that power. So, smart
But,
girl
I mean,
in the center
sir-
there. He completely ignores you, Cecilia, and points at you, Tori. Smart girl in the center there.
That's me. Smart.
How do you maintain your power once you have it? Not now.
You make sure that the people around you support you.
And how do you do that? How do you maintain that support from people if you can't trust them, if they're gonna betray you?
Tori's like, there are a lot of ways. Like, depends on you, I guess.
Give me an example. What works for you?
She's like, for me, I don't, like.
Yeah, she's
power?
like, I don't have any power. What are you talking about?
I don't manipulate any people or do any of this stuff. She just says, well, I mean, there's a lot of examples in everything. There's fear.
Fear's good.
Love.
Love's okay. Love breeds jealousy.
She like answered and now she's sex. Tori's like looks over like gives you a look that's like, are you saying something about me here? Was that directed at me?
Yeah, it's like a kind of paranoid.
I'd probably
like,
just
wait,
like give
what?
you that half.
Not me feeling
Heard the
attacked.
rumors.
But when you say sex, George, he like looks up and goes, "That's a very effective tool. You use that wisely."
Tori's just glad she's not the center of attention for this teacher anymore. Answered one question and like it turned into a whole discussion and she's not into it.
All right. For now, let's not worry about that. However, let us talk about the structure of the Roman Republic and how it failed. And the class carries on as he starts to talk. Like, what I'll say is his lesson maintains that slightly weird, slightly unconventional talking and questioning people, things like that. But obviously I'm not going to give everyone an entire history lesson for the sake of realism.
I have my archaeology books here. I could just start reading.
Yeah. Is that Katie or George wanting?
Oh, it's just me, real Katie. Sorry,
Okay.
I just had a question. Like, is he ever mean?
No.
Or is he just kind of,
I mean,
not really affected by the kids much, other than answering?
What I would say, and you probably got this from the intro and from what he was saying, is like, he's not mean, but there are times when you're not sure.
Okay.
So
and also he was totally willing to dismiss like answers that were like CZ trying to answer, right? Like, so maybe that counts. I don't know.
Cecilia is making a mental list of things she can later on complain to the principal about.
Aww.
Okay.
About him being incompetent because he's not offering students a chance to learn and chip in his class.
I will say,
and I mean, he arguably bullied us with some nicknames.
And he's talking about stabbing people and like sex and stuff in world history class.
I will say for Cecilia going like, if you put your hand up and someone else isn't answering, he will 100% be like yes, and like take your answer in that.
Oh, totally.
Yeah. So
she'll still.
Like I can.
She takes her not getting to answer a question as a personal slight, obviously, right?
Let's bounce off Cecilia's feelings about Mr. Ashford. William, how are you feeling about him?
Very not. I don't think William expected the kind of change in attitude, but I think he's also happy that actual facts are being
after the last class
and something to write down as opposed to Hurgity Furgity Beergity. Why are we here?
Sweet facts, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Sweet facts.
Okay. George? Katie.
Oh, I was so reading chat. I literally just
was. How does George
blanked
feel?
out. About this teacher, I think I like him, but I'm also
suspicious.
No, I think I'm used to being able to kind of not bully, but like get away with things with the teachers. Give them a little, yes, kind of be a little bit of a bully because some of the teachers might be a little afraid.
When he immediately refers to you as angry girl in the back of the class, like, oh
he's
shit,
disarming.
okay.
Yeah, I think he's disarming, and that freaked me out immediately.
That set the tone for the lesson, where it's like, where she was like, I want to complain about that, but A, it's valid, and B, I don't have anything because I'm not used to this. So she was just like, okay, fine, I'm angry girl, cool.
Yeah,
no
literally, like I
quips,
had no argument.
Okay.
What are you gonna do? No, but yeah, 100%. I think I'm a little intimidated by him.
Moving on to Tori. I am guessing that Tori is kind of a little bit off balance or off kilter with that interaction.
It follows a lot of trends with Tori when it comes to teachers, where it's like, I could have answered with something way smarter than I did, and also you were asking me questions about me in a situation involving Julius Caesar, which is like, I am not Caesar. You know what I mean?
But was there a little uncomfortableness with the
definitely, yeah, definitely. But she was like, I could have given you historical examples of trying to keep your power, you know what I mean? But if I do that, I look like a nerd, so I'm not gonna do that.
How did she feel also about being referred to as smart girl?
I mean, compliments are always good. Smart is still good. It's just secondary to popular, pretty, all the other things, right?
Successful, athletic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Katie, what? Katie.
I just don't like interrupting people, and I feel like sometimes I do that. I just get way too excited. I just wanted to ask, like, so you feel okay about being smart, but on the surface, do you have to act insulted in front of your friends?
Well, it's not an insult. Like, it's still a compliment, right? As long as the other parts of her take precedence, I think.
True.
Is the other thing, right?
True. It's not like you geek or something.
Like, she is smarter than people like Nicole, for example, in her friend group. Like, absolutely she is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They know that there is intelligence there. It's just the type of intelligence is important in a high school friend group, where like if someone stands out too much or has too specific knowledge,
you gotta stick with the clique, right? Like generally, you gotta fit the like mold that it exists in.
Yeah.
And it's something that actually, weirdly, Ruben, Mr. Ashford touched on, which is essentially if you stand out, you get nailed down. So like she's not really standing out there. It's just like, she's smart. She has some intelligence. If he was like, oh, good, bring me an apple tomorrow, your teacher's pet, then she would be socially crucified.
I feel like I also feel like history and English and stuff are where she answers the most questions. You know what I mean? Like historically, quote unquote.
Yeah. So it wouldn't be too weird for her to be doing better in something like history.
Yeah.
Okay. The class itself carries on in its slightly weird and everything. The bell rings to signal the end of it. And essentially, once the bell rings, Mr. Ashford just stops and kind of forgets that you're in the classroom, just kind of like starts packing up, and is actually the first to leave.
I love him.
He doesn't say anything either. He just walks out.
Yeah, there's a moment of like, what the fuck? And then everybody else goes.
That's like another mental note.
Yeah.
I feel like on my way out of the classroom this time, there's definitely a look at William, who was sitting at the front, I'm sure, like packing up while I pass by. Yeah. And I go, little man, and then everyone in my group laughs and we keep going.
Yeah, there's kind of like a giggling and like a little side glances.
Yeah, Will's not thrilled.
Yo, Elf has been chewing on that one the entire class. She's like, I could use this one.
Hold on.
I'm a stealer.
Listen, Katie is so effortless in the insults that I have to up my game like 100% to match the energy, okay?
She went for the soft target, which is Will. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
When they
she
say...
goes for soft targets all the time.
Little man, he visibly shrinks a little bit.
Yeah.
And then he that's the new posture now, and then he just picks up his stuff.
And just kind of like puts his head down and gets towards the next class.
I feel so sorry for him.
Weirdly enough, being called little man actually makes him look smaller.
Yeah. Does anyone want to touch on anything before we head to next class?
I think there's definitely just to act on the previous interaction.
Yeah.
I think Cecilia will like wait a bit until most students have like left, because she wants to do this, but she doesn't want everyone to see it, and she just like passes by William's desk and just like chips in, trying to help him a bit, but maybe not really, by just saying like, it's fine, you'll probably make a better first impression next class. And then she'll just walk away, like thinking this has helped him, but maybe not so much, just trying to be nice to him, but
Okay.
I think he's in dejected mode right now and not really going to pick up on anything nice being done to him.
Yeah. Okay. Moving onwards to the next class. The teacher's already there. You actually know this teacher. He's been here for a while now. It is your biology teacher, Leonard Wiggins. There was a last year for a bit of time. There was a replacement teacher because he went.
Oh, this is the Mr. Wiggins who wouldn't even notice if you weren't there, right? From George's intro.
Yeah. So George, do let me know. I can tell you now. That
Are you ditching? Yeah.
I can tell you now that the two guys don't actually ditch. They're running with the gym teachers just a bit too much for them. They don't mention anything. They kind of act
Big
like
big talk,
yeah,
guys.
Yeah, it is. But George, if you want to ditch, then it's an option.
Yes, but also, so I was actually going to see, I was trying to tell if this was the class that we were all going to ditch and everything. So, you know how like Cecilia and Tori made their like comments on their way out, and we're always in the back corner, so my little group's probably the last out.
Yeah.
If I could, and if Will allows it, I'd like to just forcefully grab his arm and insist he comes with us and kind of drag him to the skate park.
You're gonna ditch with Will.
Wait, are you grabbing the guys as well? Because they're
coming. I mean, they're ditching.
class.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, they're ditching now. Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean,
They're coming
it's
along
kind
as a
of
matter
expected.
of course.
Like they could argue it, but if I just started walking off the campus of the school, they'd just follow like sadly and angrily, but they'd go anyways.
Yeah, they would.
And I just had a moment of like, not like Will is just so pathetic.
Yeah.
Like I want to like give him I don't know what to do. I don't know. So I kind of like in a not warm like cuddly teddy bear like come with us, but like a come on, and he'll probably be like but my whatever, and I'll just like
Come on,
grab his
doofus.
jacket and be like
Yeah.
we're going shopping, loser. You know what I'm saying? But like not that.
Does this skateboard make me look fat?
George's best Tori impression.
Get in with doing heresy.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
okay.
wait. So is George trying to get Will away from class and to skip class and go skating instead?
I just am trying to figure out your story and maybe be your friend.
Yeah.
Okay, but are you heading to the next class, or are you like?
No, we are.
No.
Well, you might think we are. I'm
Okay,
just
'cause I
gonna
was
say,
gonna say-
come on.
I will tell
And when
you.
you don't, I'll probably
First of all, Will has
shove you,
no
like,
idea
come on.
what to do in this situation. He has no clue, and then
Well, see, that's what I'm thinking. Like, I got my two friends and me. Like, we'll
Yeah.
kind of herd you, and you'll be like, "But that was
Yeah.
class," and
I-
we'll be like, "Ba ba ba ba."
I
ba."
will.
yeah, exactly.
I
what wasn't that? What was?
I will
We're going to
tell-
the back building.
I will tell you as well that the lab for biology is on the second floor and is towards the back, so it's going to be very obvious that you're not going to class. Just FYI. So he.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Will has no way of stopping and going to class if George and
George and
Casey and Joel.
yeah
Joel. Yeah.
And the Sunshine Band, yeah.
Sometimes Terry.
That's a deep
Sundance
cut.
Kid. So if they're not going to class and Will is like in the middle being dragged along, or being pushed along, he has no way of stopping because he is deathly afraid of like confrontation.
Mm. And
If he looked questioning, we'd probably just say things like, "We're getting something for class. We're just grabbing something outside
Yeah.
real quick."
Yeah.
No, and he would like if you told him in that way he's kind of like a trained dog. So if you tell him stay here, I'll be back in a second, he would not move.
Oh,
Because if he moved, that would be a confrontation when you see him next, and he doesn't want to do that. So he would
No
rather just
self-preservation
do
at
what
all.
he's told.
Poor boy.
And as you're walking in that direction, Joel is like, George, why you grab him?
Why'd I grab you?
You didn't grab me.
Keep walking.
Okay. And Casey is like, you remember I need to be somewhere, right? So like,
I'm sorry, were you talking?
Yes.
Talk that way. As I start walking a little bit faster in said direction of skate park.
And Casey's like, that doesn't even make sense as he keeps walking. And as you let's hit this part of the scene. As you step outside of the front of the school and head out away from school, what's William's reaction? And also, as you get to the end of the path and it kind of splits off in different ways, Casey heads left. Like, you all head left because that's the quickest way to the skate park. But essentially, there's going to be a moment when Casey splits off. So, William, how are you feeling as you're walking away from the school, like down the path?
He feels like he's walking the wrong way.
Yes, I mean you are.
And he feels like this isn't supposed to happen. I'm supposed to be able to go to class. It's biology now. I have to be at class.
Yeah.
But I can't leave because
just literally holding
George
you.
told me to come along.
Yeah.
And I don't have any authority to say no.
Exactly.
So, and at this point, we're probably getting late.
Does he have like his like books and folders like wrapped around his chest, and he's like, "Where are we going?"
What I was picturing too, like the hard
like,
clutch.
Yeah, it's like, where are we going? What's happening?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh dear.
Bless him. As if Casey forks off, I'll probably make some comment like, if she starts singing "Don't Speak," don't say I didn't tell you nothing.
I'm gonna sing it back. I've got that shit memorized.
Can't sing when your throat's slit, idiot. Be safe. Bye.
Be safe.
What does that even mean? And like, yeah, as you part, he becomes a bit more confident with a little distance. I'd say past arm, like swinging
he starts
distance.
To stand straighter.
He's just a little bit kind of like, yeah, I'm gonna see my girl. What of it? But
it goes to a different school, man.
She's Canadian.
If George like stops or turns around after he does that kind of what, like he'll immediately pretend that he wasn't doing anything, turn around and like run off.
Oh, please don't hit me.
We've probably been friends for a bit. Small town, we've been there. So I imagine I know that's happening, but I like give it to him.
Yeah.
Gonna let him stand
well, and also
tall.
like I feel like there's all this banter with like George and Casey, but they're probably like really good friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like we're probably like kinder besties. You know, like
Yeah.
been pushing each other's faces in the mud.
Well, it's
so
the same
long
thing
that-
that when you talk to someone, like when you walk up to one of your best friends, you don't say, "Hey man, how you doing?" You go,
Yeah,
"Hey,
you like
dickhead,
punch him in the
how you
shoulder
doing?"
or something. Yep, exactly. Yeah. What's up, douchebag?
Yeah, exactly.
Nut shots.
Yes, which is why like me being like, "Don't get your throat slit," whatever, is probably actually like, "I love you so much.
Yeah.
Please don't die."
Yeah.
It's like
yeah.
saying you don't say
That's
good luck,
woman.
you say
It's
break
like,
a leg.
take care of yourself. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Um.
But other than that, I wouldn't really cater to a conversation until we got to the park or wherever it is we
Oh, for sure.
plop.
And what I'll say for now is we will return to the skate park. Essentially, the assumption will be is that you settle down, start a bit of skating. Will is probably like almost fetal with his folders and books and stuff.
At this point, when they're officially late for class, he has given up.
Okay. He's already in trouble. He's acknowledged that.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I'm gonna talk to you, Will. We're gonna get back here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, for now, we'll stop the very clear Blink 182 sounding music. And we will get to class. Biology class, no less.
I feel like George's absence is always a noted thing in last periods.
Yeah.
Like lots of last period classes have no George in them.
Oh, the students at the very least are very used to it.
Yeah. Well, that's what I meant, like the class, not the teacher necessarily.
But William not being there, that's not something
that doesn't happen.
Tori doesn't even know William exists.
I don't think Tori
even
notices that William
even
isn't
after
there.
having mocked him just a second ago. So like, yeah, that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Cecilia doesn't say anything about it because she knows the cool kids don't notice William, but she has taken note in her little brain.
Okay. So Mr. Wiggins is already there, and has there's a few things. There's like this big kind of like I would imagine Cecilia would know this. Tori also would know this, but may not mention it. There's like a big kind of like a boomerang, looks quite authentic. And there's a kind of like a didgeridoo kind of like stacked up on the thing. There's also
Australian motherfucker.
Yeah. Well, what was being talked about earlier is at a certain point there was a replacement teacher last year because he went on to into Australia on a kind of like little expedition kind of thing, as like, you know, biology stuff essentially. There's also a fairly large kind of terrarium type looking thing that has like very kind of deserty looking stuff, like rocks and sand, and like one of those big kind of like desiccated tree branches. And you can see like deeper in, like there's kind of ants moving all over the place, like look quite large and quite exotic for the ants you may be used to around here. And once you've sat down, Mr. Wiggins is actually elderly. It may give you some reference comparative to Mr. Knight, who is much more middle-aged than that. But Wiggins looks in his 70s, maybe. Not great at guessing ages with old people, but vague. He has kind of like that white coat on, and he has like the pocket protector with all the pens and that type of thing. You're used to his class, so essentially you're used to kind of settling in, there's always a low murmur in class during Mr. Wiggins'
rhythm, yeah.
Because he just teaches. Whatever it is on, he doesn't really pay attention to the students. Not because he doesn't care, but because he's been doing this for so long. So essentially, we'll pick up in a part of his class as he's talking. He starts to talk about evolution, and he says, of course, evolution is an important part of biology, something that we all must learn about. Creatures, beings on this planet need to adapt to their surroundings and to their environment. This can take hundreds of years to thousands of years as slowly survival mutations occur, and a creature will learn to adapt to a hotter climate or a colder climate, adapt to predators or adapt to prey as is needed. Those mutations, those changes that are ineffective die out, and the ones that are effective become the dominant aspect of the species, thus leading to, during reproduction, quiet please, during reproduction, they can essentially become the predominant version of a species. One of the very good ways to view this is if we look at ants. And he kind of turns and points at the terrarium thing and says, ants can be found all over the world. They come in many different shapes and sizes, and they all adapt to the environment that they are in. The ant is also very quick at adapting, taking in changes in environment and adapting in terms of biologically at least, meteoric fast speeds, being able to change themselves through the queen and through the changing hives, and the queen can be born with a new adaptation or a new mutation and pass that down to her hive. The important part of evolution is that it is, and nearly always will be, a survival mechanism. It is intended to ensure the survival of the species. It is not necessarily for the individual, it is for the whole, to ensure that something of a species survives when environments change. Now, let us for a second consider if a species was to come to being that not only adapted by survival, but also if they adapted by instinct, by an automatic thing in their physiology, whereby almost before a change in environment was instituted, they were already changing and adapting in quick measure. This could perhaps create a creature with the ultimate evolution that could even rival the ability to reason, which we as humans have evolved and adapted to have. The sentience of any species is the ability to sense, the ability to be aware of your surroundings, touch, sense, smell. The ability to think, the ability to reason is something that has evolved mostly, completely, only in humans. But what if the ability to reason was not needed because you could automatically adapt instead of reasoning on how to adapt? For example, if it's cold, put on a coat. Instead, you just grow a coat. Perhaps that could lead to the domination of the reason by the more natural automatic instinct. And
I feel like Sheepy during the reason like Tori's actually been taking notes this time because it's not as strong a class for her naturally.
Yeah.
Okay, but exactly the same here. Cecilia is also taking notes because this is not her strongest class.
But there's definitely a, like, when there's a mention of like human beings have evolved reason, there's definitely a muttering to Tori, maybe to herself, but like audibly to the people near her, of like, some of us anyway.
I'm going to, and this is me, not Sheepy, not. So I realized I was talking like him for a second there, like Mr. Wiggins. I'm going to ask if, could both of you please roll me a face danger?
Oh my god, first roll!
First roll.
Describe what to know if we can add any tags.
None of your tags will apply.
Okay, cool.
And not even a weakness for biology.
Not even weakness.
I rolled a great success.
Well done.
No, it's 6.
Okay. Nothing happens. Nothing changes.
Just rolling. Yeah, just rolling.
Just rolling with no repercussions.
How dare you, Sheepy?
I love no repercussion rolling.
George and Will are like, fucking dodged a bullet there. God damn.
Yeah.
All
We won't be safe next time. I know it. It's fine. I've been here before.
all I will say is that things have started to happen in Quail Town. And as we continue, there will be times where you essentially find yourself on a path. So the lesson finishes.
Tori's like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, you know.
Well, that's me, Sheepy. That's not.
Oh, okay, all right. It seemed like the voice for the.
Sorry. It's very similar to mine. They're just a little more pretentious.
Just a little more chill, yeah.
So yeah, that was Sheepy, not the teacher.
Okay, good.
The class itself finishes. It is very regular for the most part. Essentially, he's a little bit weird. He's into insects and he's into, he's kind of a nerd, but he's a perfectly fine teacher as teachers go. For your own personal feelings, I imagine it is disinterest at best, or just kind of like, yeah, as a teacher.
Mr. Wiggins is boring. Mr. Wiggins talks forever.
But then again, depending on how you took the last two teachers, he might be a breath of fresh air, where it's like, oh, good, boring. Like, that's much better than those two other ones.
Yeah, but it's boring and it's the last class of the day.
Yeah.
Come on. Come
course.
on, that's the worst.
Yeah. So, the class ends. And the bell rings for the last time as school is out.
Oh, sweet.
So, let's go with Cecilia and with Tori, as they have managed to stay in school.
Oh, okay.
What is...
I tried, man, I tried!
Hey, look. Disapproving teacher here.
You didn't really.
Is there anything upon the end of school and leaving school that you would like to accomplish or you'd like to do? Essentially, I'm assuming, Cecilia, that your intention is pretty much to do whatever you need to do in school before you head home.
Yeah, I can't be late at home. So I think I'll wrap things up in school, say bye to every person that I know the name of.
Okay.
When going outside.
A lot of those are teachers, just, so you're saying goodbye to the teachers mostly.
Yeah.
I mean, the other people's names, other students.
But yeah, exactly that.
Okay. Tori, as your...
So I remember the coach mentioned swim stuff. When are we doing, that's not today, right?
No,
that. Okay.
It's
probably mornings usually is how that stuff tends to go.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Then, yeah, I mean, Tori's probably headed out with her continual train of friends and eventually splitting off to their various homes.
As you're leaving, Aaron joins you for a little bit, and it's nothing to make note of. There's no scene really needed. It's just essentially light conversation. You don't share as many classes with Aaron, and I wouldn't
Tori
say...
is actually relatively nice to Aaron when compared with everyone else. There is always that veneer of manipulation going on a little bit, but they get along pretty well.
Yeah. I'd say there's a little bit of awkwardness, but nothing like super heavy or anything. It's maybe there's been an argument lately, or maybe there's been a disagreement or something.
Well, I feel like historically there's probably some on again, off again dating between the two of them.
There is a lot of that.
And that turns into arguments and then makeups and then breakups and then we're back on and then we're not. You know what I mean?
Currently, it's in a very
high school drama.
Yeah. Currently, it's in a very we kind of broke up, but not really, and we're both trying to figure out if we're still together or if we're
totally
on a break or something. So that's all under the surface. What everyone sees is the most popular guy in high school talking with his probably girlfriend, swim star, basketball star, probably going to be prom king and queen when that, all that kind of stuff. And then...
what can I say, right?
Oh, when you got it,
Yeah.
But however, he doesn't hang around with your group too much, as he says he has to go practice some basketball and essentially I'll see you later, and kind of peels off from you guys as you're walking towards the center of town. The rest of your friends are talking about what they want to do, because they don't particularly want to go home quite yet. Some talk about walking around the shops, even though it's not super interesting. There is a larger city nearby, which you can take the bus, or you can either take the bus or jump in a car. Your friends all have cars, and they have their driver's licenses.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So there are quite often trips into the more interesting city area, which is outside of town. But there are still shops and things around here. Like the area of town in the center where you're from, where you kind of live, let's say, is it is very much a nice part of town. You got like big, slightly older buildings. Very, very nice, very kind of,
Oh, sure. Tori lives in the rich part of town.
Yeah,
obviously.
Yeah. So there is a possibility of going around and essentially doing some shopping, buying some dresses, or just going.
I feel like there's a discussion that's like, oh, we're gonna go and do this, and Tori sort of has to do the, no, I have another thing that I have to like go and do.
Yeah.
Like makes an excuse to sort of like separate from the group and be like,
and
you'll be fine without me. Do your thing, whatever.
Yeah. And
like
all of the others, are like Rebecca, Nicole, Christine are all kind of like, oh, that's a shame, kind of like, oh no, and they're kind of disappointed that they don't get to spend a little more time, kind of. That kind of currying favor and like, oh, do you think this dress will look good on me? They don't want to buy a dress and then come into school and it's not a nice dress,
Yeah, it's no good. If I don't like it, it's not good. That's just how it is.
Additional to that, though, as you're leaving, Laura kind of gives you a look of kind of like, say hi to your family at home, and like she knows where you're going as opposed to the other ones.
Sure, like we're actually friends versus like high school popularity contest friends.
I mean, there's still a little bit of that in there. It's just
obviously you can't get rid of it. It's impossible to remove.
It's a bit lessened with Laura just because she's known you longer and you guys grew up together.
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned driving, so I think Tori probably has her own method of getting home. Doesn't have to take a bus or anything.
Yeah. She drives into school and
and she makes her way back to her home.
Okay.
She makes an excuse like she has something to do, but she's going home.
All right. So, let's follow Tori back.
Okay.
You head back to the manor that you live in.
I mean, it's like the rich part of town, so the houses are as large as the families are absent.
Yeah.
It's her house is suitably like high school house party, kick ass.
Yeah.
Like best place that you could possibly have such a thing. She's planning one, by the way. That's coming up.
Noted.
When she knows her father is going to be absent.
Okay. As you kind of the gates open and you walk into the kind of like nice little garden area before you walk up to the big bay door window, the big bay door like doors that open up, and you walk in and the twins aren't back yet, quite. Mm-hmm. So you have a little bit of time if you want to relax or if you want to, start preparing.
I think Tori just like it takes a couple minutes, half an hour or whatever that it'll take for like her younger siblings to get back on the bus to just like watch some TV or something, just be like completely in her own head, you know what I mean?
Yeah, just kind of like kick back on the sofa.
School is exhausting, you know, for more than one reason.
After sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. After about half an hour, you hear the kind of like outside of the bus stopping outside your house, and also the swinging of the kind of slightly creaky gates. Also, just lots of younger kids kind of being like.
Yeah, it's always noisy.
You hear the door open and kind of like semi-slam open, as you also hear your sister basically shouting like, "Sam, wait up!" As you hear the like of Samuel essentially like storming into the house and
it's like
his
bounding
backpack
up the
just goes
stairs.
boom,
Yeah.
and then he's like up the stairs, and then your sister comes in and closes the door. She's a lot quieter. Well, she's quieter. She's more tidy. She like tidies up her brother's backpack and puts her and like hangs it up, and then comes in and like, hey Tori.
Hey Renee, how was school?
Good. Sam got in trouble again.
When is he not in trouble?
When he doesn't go to school?
Well, and then that's just trouble of a different kind.
Yeah.
I'll talk to him.
I got an A. We had a test.
Great. Yeah, you keep it up, you know? And I think she like gets up from where she's been relaxing.
Renee's like holding her arms out a little bit.
Yeah.
And she's like, hey, let's get hugs.
Tori's okay with just like giving her a hug on like return.
How dare you?
Yeah. And she goes, listen, you can handle yourself, right? I'm gonna go talk to Sam and you get something from the fridge or what have you.
Okay.
You know where everything is.
And she kind of like scuttles off towards the kitchen, and as she like the kitchen is like marble and like really really nice looking, kind of modern for the 90s kind of vibes. As she does, you hear her shout like, "Tell Mom I got an A. A's mean hugs." And
next time I hear from her, I'll let her know. You
hear like the fridge opening and some milk bottles kind of like clacking together.
And Tori heads upstairs to like Sam's room, wherever like there's probably a closed door, and just like knocks on it.
What?
Hey Sam.
Yeah?
I hear that there was something going on at school today. Can we talk about it maybe?
Is Dad home?
Not yet. You know he's not gonna be home until like later this evening.
Okay. And like you hear kind of like a shuffling and a thud, and then the door opens like a little crack, and you see like the part of his eye as he kind of like looks through the crack. He's like, "It wasn't my fault."
Well, then whose fault was it?
The kid who I punched?
Why'd you punch him?
He said I had an absentee father. And he said I had a broken home. And my home's not broken. My home's really nice. And it's like, it's completely intact. Not even any windows. After we fixed that one that I accidentally broke. But that doesn't count as broken.
You were right to punch that kid.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll
asshole.
try and soften the blow with Dad, and you just don't say anything to him. Let me handle that.
Can I hang in my room by myself? And Renee's not allowed in here until dinner?
Sure.
No, Renee.
I don't think she'll want to come into your room anyway. There's kind of a smell coming out of there, and
I haven't found, like, it was like I had milk, I had cereal in my room once, and I just can't find the bowl, and I'll find it, and it's not that smelly.
Whatever dishes you have in there, make sure to bring them down, okay?
I'm trying to find it. God. And then like he closes the door, and there's like a doof, 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 doof.
And Tori goes back downstairs to like find where Renee is and what Renee's been up to.
Renee's I can't do it myself, but Renee's got a slightly kind of like lilting singing voice. When you come down, she's singing Frere Jacques, just like very softly and very kind of Frere Jacques.
Just going about some snack prep.
Yeah,
she does probably.
As you make dinner, she will try and help, but she is unhelpful. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, and Tori does go about preparing food for the three of them.
Yeah.
For the evening, expecting their father to be back like way later, as is usually the case. Yeah.
Okay. We'll fade on you preparing dinner for your siblings.
I thought you said will, like, oh, is it me?
No.
But it might be in a second.
Do we have Cecilia?
Looks
Yeah. Just now. Hold up.
Oh, nailed it.
Perfect timing.
Just in time.
We never don't have Cecilia.
She's always there if you want her or not.
Sorry, as I was just looking over, all I see in the chat is, I don't trust Sheepy at this point. I'm like, when do you ever trust me?
That's a very valid point that Chad is bringing up. I also don't trust Sheepy. Like the one role.
Yeah,
I haven't had any time to build up trust with Sheepy, so there's nothing to shatter.
Perfect. Give me time. Cecilia. Heading home. You driving? Do you have a car?
Most likely, because how else would I get to the hospital, you know?
Good point.
Yeah.
You're not on today, by the way, so you can pretty much just head straight home.
I know, I have calculated that in. My daily schedule is always on point. So after I have finished off at school, I will head over home to probably do some chores first, then eat dinner, then possibly do homework.
Yeah, absolutely. So as you pull in, you see Tina is just starting to leave. Essentially, she's coming over from the yard, where the stable is, and headed towards her car. As you pull in, you see her. She puts her hands up and waves. And hey, as you step out, she says, "I was gonna stay for dinner, but some of my friends actually wanted me to go and meet them for drinks, so I'm heading out immediately. But talk to your dad. There's been some I don't know, something happened today. He seems a little bit off, so have a word with him, will you?"
Hey Tina, it's really a pity that you're not staying for dinner. But then I guess they planned it in and stuff like, and you have your friends and you go out and have drinks and have fun. So like, I totally get it. I will talk to that. Nothing bad happened?
Nothing too bad. I think I'm not exactly sure what it was. It was over in the animal enclosure, not on the stables. So I didn't really hear what happened.
Well, I don't want to bother you with any of it, so I'll let you head off.
Yeah, I think I'm staying for dinner tomorrow. I think your folks are out. I think they're going to a restaurant or something for dinner tomorrow. So we'll have dinner then. That'll be lovely.
I'm looking forward to it. I always like it when you're around. It's way more fun than being on my own.
Okay. I'll see you tomorrow, yeah?
Have fun, Tina, with your friends and have lots of drinks.
Thanks, you too. No drinks though.
I wouldn't want to.
And she gets in a car, starts it up, reverses, and drives off. I'm just trying not to laugh at Katie's face.
It's like the waiter saying "you too."
Yeah.
All right. I'll head inside, and I will I guess immediately find my dad.
He's currently like kicked off his boots. They're like muddy on the front steps. Big kind of like wellies, you know, like work boot type things. And he's got his feet up with the TV on, and he's not asleep, but you can tell that he's kind of drifting towards that dozing or like napping. As he's kind of like just like reclined in the sofa, TV on, you know, it's just on something unimportant, and he's not even really watching it.
Cecilia will take a small second to doubt when she notices that he's dozing to like speak up or anything. Then she enters the room, and just says, Hey, Dad. I'm home.
Yeah, when you say that, like he kind of like sits up a bit and looks around, and his face splits into a big smile. Hey kids! And he like stands up and he like walks over to you, like grabs you by the shoulder, plants a kiss on top of your head. It's like, how's school?
Great. We had this like new teacher in town. We actually have two, but one is, I don't think he's qualified to be a teacher. But I'll talk to the principal about that. I mean, like, we can't have teachers who aren't qualified giving us classes. So, but one is really nice. He's teaching us about like philosophy and stuff like that, and how we need to learn and need to think and not just learn by heart. And it's, I like it. Yeah.
So school's good?
Yeah, Dad.
Brilliant. Okay. I think there's some food in the fridge if you want to heat something up. I'm probably gonna go to bed soon. I'm a bit beat. Today was a long day.
I get it. I'll go look, and I'm sure there'll be something to heat up. Tina told me that something bad happened.
It's not
all right?
It's not really bad. It's just it's a bit strange. A couple of the chickens went missing. I don't know, like, there shouldn't be a way they could get out, but apparently they managed to, like, maybe burrow under the fence or something. It's nothing big, like, they can easily be replaced, but we're just gonna have to shore up the coop a little bit more.
Do you think maybe this is a prank that someone, like, stole the chickens or something?
I don't see why anyone would. But, I mean, it sounds more likely than they actually managed to, you know, great escape it or something, you know.
As long as they're not all stolen or stuff, we should definitely keep an eye on that. Look, in all honesty, I probably think this is like some kind of prank that maybe one of the other kids at school thought it was funny to go steal some chickens for whatever reason.
Oh, Cece, is one of your friends having a go at you again?
No, Dad, they wouldn't mess with the animals and with like your whole thing. That's not.
Yeah, when I was at school, I had a lot of friends too. Like, I know what it's like. It's you know, you play pranks on each other. It's fine. I don't mind losing a couple of I don't mind losing a couple of chickens to your friends. It's perfectly fine. You know.
I'll tell them not to do it again, Dad.
Thanks, sweetie. All right, I'm gonna watch a bit of TV. Go make yourself some food, and yeah, you know, I'm sure you're gonna study and everything. So do all the things you usually do.
I sure will. Is Mom home?
No, I think she's still out with the horses.
I'll see when she gets in.
Yeah, I just collapsed when I got in, so you know, it's
I get it. Don't worry. Go get back to your couch. I'll do dinner and I'll study.
Okay. And he just like sits down and turns the TV back off.
And I will do just that. I will go to the fridge. Pray that there's something there. And if I find something that I can throw together, I'll cook it up. And if my mom doesn't show her face, that's perfectly fine. And
no, you're not that lucky. You hear the door kind of click open, and you hear the kind of like slightly lighter stomping of boots, and you hear your dad from the other room essentially say, "Hey Josephine, you back?" And she's like, yes, I just got back. And it's like, okay, food in the fridge. I think Cecilia's cooking something up. Oh, okay. And you hear the footsteps hurry slightly more as your mum walks into the kitchen and says, Cecilia.
Hey, Mom.
How was your day?
School was great. I just told Dad that we had this like new teacher in town, and
that's lovely. And she like reaches over and takes the food that you're starting to prepare and like starts to put it on some plates and So a good day at school then? And she's like dealing out the plates and like.
Yeah. I heard from Dad about the weird thing with the chickens.
It's nothing to worry about, I'm sure. Your father will deal with that.
Yeah, we already talked about it. It's nothing to worry about, indeed. Like, it's just a few chickens.
Of course. And she picks up the plate and hands it to you and says, "Now, you can eat in your room as long as you're going to study in there, yes? But just remember, no crumbs, no mess, and do bring it down when you're done."
I have no other plans than studying tonight, Mom, so,
That's my girl.
just as always, you don't need to worry about that.
I always need to worry, Cecilia. Anyway, yes. Do have a good night, and we'll talk tomorrow.
Yeah, I hope you had a great day, Mom.
Oh, yeah. Horses are horses. They're easy.
I'll thank you for dinner.
Okay. And, you go and you go up to your room, eat, you study, and, we fade from the Grayson farm. We want to take a moment just to shake that.
Skate park.
Dude,
skate park,
what
skate
the
park.
fuck?
I could not look at your face, Katie. It was so angry and disgusted, and like
Yeah.
it was like heartbroken and happy, and then shifted into angry. Like it's.
I'm horrifically heartbroken and angry. Like these characters are horrible. They're
Hey,
terrible.
I love them all.
I mean, they're beautiful and wonderful, but Jesus Christ.
All I'm gonna say is Syrinx started it. Okay, she hurt me first.
Your fault. You're the one.
I wanna-
Sign up for emotions.
I want to see Will try and skate. That's what I want to see.
Oh,
Do a
yeah.
backflip.
Oh my God, he would die though.
Do a barrel roll.
No. Remember what Sheepy said? We can't die. Do a backflip.
Hey, I'm not sticking to that promise for the entire show.
Oh dang it.
Like, although it is accurate for teenagers in high school to be like, we're immortal.
That's true.
That's
True. Probably not Will. Though.
Except
I
for
don't feel
Will,
like
because he's
has that.
like, I'm
Except for Will.
terrified.
I'm trying not to pee.
Yeah.
So
I think Will probably peed when I just nudged him in class.
yeah, no.
Twinkle, twinkle.
So we will, in true fashion, rejoin Georgette and William and Georgette's friends. Well, one of Georgette's friends. I believe Joel is with you, but
Yeah,
Casey isn't.
run out.
Casey went off to.
At the skate park, and you have people going up and down the ramps, and there's people falling over. One guy does this really nice kick flip and lands on a railing to grate down and just wipes out and lands bar between his legs, and everyone's like, oh.
I'll probably laugh, kinda,
Yeah, and
and
I bet everyone laughs.
look at Will and be like, "What's Will's reaction to this?" Because I don't know if Will's ever been in a situation where he's not the person being harmed.
I think actually Will's kind of getting into it a little bit. Instead of just being awkward in the corner, everyone can understand Schadenfreude. Seriously,
Yeah.
everyone can understand that. He just goes, oh.
and I
And then I think he's surprised by his own reaction, going,
Yeah.
"Ooh, wait, what did I just do?"
Oh, he catches himself.
Yeah.
I would say as well, Will, that I forgot that the no school it caught me off guard. I forgot they did that. This is probably the first time you've felt actually part of American culture since you came over from the UK.
Not by free will. You got fucking dragged.
Yeah, but it's like this is actually what I have seen on a few American TV shows.
Yeah.
Like this actually feels like something that is on the TV as opposed to
Like Saved by the Bell kind of stuff.
yeah.
Misery. So if I catch you react, I'll probably giggle and take that as my moment to approach you, and be like, now I can maybe talk to him and he won't freak out. And I'll just probably casually be like, why you let them talk to you like that?
Let who talk to me?
Everybody.
I don't want to. I don't want to make people angry.
Does that happen often?
I don't want it to happen at all. So
predisposed fear, you're letting just rule your entire existence.
I'm not gonna be here forever, and I'm new. And
You got big plans to get out of the town where your teachers you've had for the past X amount of years don't know your name.
I'll probably go back to England.
William.
And sorry, one sec.
You're totally fine. I can pause.
Don't you dare stop the tunes, Sheepy.
Joel, like is when you approached William, he also kind of floated. Like Joel isn't really like Tori's friends, where he like orbits around you because you're important or interesting or anything along those lines. He's literally a floater. He will just be there because he has no reason not to be.
He's got nothing else going on.
Yeah,
Exactly.
And when you say, did you say Will or William?
I said William.
He'd be like, "Oh, your name's William?
Yeah.
Are you like new, like you transfer student or something like this year?
Last year.
You came here last year?
Yeah.
How have I never seen you before?
We had a group assignment last year.
Really?
We did the pendulum thing in physics.
Oh, how do we do?
We did good.
Sweet.
Joel just stoned out of his mind the entire physics class.
I absolutely love this. I do too.
Well, hey, thanks for carrying me, man. That's cool of you. I'll try and remember your name. I won't, but I'll try.
It's William.
I'm not gonna remember that, man.
Okay.
But hey, it's nice to meet you again. Don't read too much into it. Like I meet people a lot of times before I remember them. I met George like 6 times.
You still forget my name.
That's not
At
true.
least once a week.
That's not true. I may not remember your last name, but hey, is it Kincaid? Kincaid? George Kincaid, right?
Yeah, that works. Yeah, that works.
Yeah. There you go.
Yep.
I remember stuff. It's cool.
You're really
when he
smart.
says, is it Kincaid? I can't remember your last name. Will says it's Cade because he remembers everyone's last name.
Oh, I can totally see that. Yeah, he knows everything about everybody.
He's got the attendance list down.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh man.
Wait, your last name is Cade?
Wow, bro.
That's a cool last name. Kincaid's
Thank
a lot
you.
worse. I wouldn't take that name.
You're not wrong. I
Right.
value our friendship for your problem-solving skills.
Me too, bro.
Well, hey, why don't you show us that new kickflip you learned last week? That'll be fun.
I'm too
Watch,
high
he's totally
for
gonna
that.
smash his face.
Yeah, okay, fine. Like, I'm still practicing and stuff. But, and he,
You
like,
wanted to smash his face?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't mind. It's fine.
I feel like I knew like 7 Joels in high school.
Totally, everybody knew a Joel, man. I wonder about Joel, honestly, on a daily basis. Like, what happened
They
to Joel?
they came up with the favorite sentence. Hey guys, watch this.
Literally, oh my god. I mean, Joel became Jackass, though, right?
just so that everyone can see this, Joel Knapp faces danger and rolls a 4, which is
Oh,
So,
Joel. Oh,
the-
Joel.
he's like
eats shit.
he's like starts to push on his board and he starts to go quite fast. He's like turns around, he's like, "What's this?" and then just goes straight into a fucking wall.
Yeah, that tracks.
And you kind of see, like, the uniform, everybody's shoulders kind of go in the entire
Yeah.
park, but then drop immediately because it just,
Yeah.
happens all
There's
the
an
time.
audible. Everyone goes inhale at the same
Yeah,
time.
yeah, that.
Like he's got like a little dribble of blood coming from his nose as he stands up and he puts his hand up. He's like, "I didn't even feel it.
You're great, bud. Look
I'm
good.
good." Yeah.
I imagine
Look
that. Sorry, small tangent. I imagine this being like Mythbusters when he tries to jump over something with the bike and it just fucking face plants into the asphalt. And he goes,
my god.
I'm good. And he was just trying to impress people. That's what I imagine Joel doing right now.
100%, but he's like so happy. Like he doesn't get butthurt or all that.
Yeah.
And that's probably why I did this. And I look at you and I'm like, see, there are people who harm themselves on purpose and still smile. What are you doing?
I missed biology.
Having a good time, right?
Yeah, I guess.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
What was that?
Thank you.
What?
Thank
What?
You. Thank you.
Can anyone hear him? Like a little group next to us, be like, no!
And
Will cracks a smile, like very subtle, but he cracks a smile.
And I'll leave it at that. Like
Joel,
that's probably like the biggest win of my life.
As you shout out, like, can anyone hear him? Joel is like picking up a skateboard. He turns around. He's like, it's about 4:30.
It's like
fucking taste colors now.
It's like fucking 3:10. Like,
So shall we assume?
I like. Can I just say that I love the juxtaposition between happy dumbass Joel and like angry George. It's like the best like duo of.
I still like I'm curious to see where it goes. Why he hangs out with me?
Yeah.
I just do not seem like a fun time.
Serious, I just want to highlight that I love that comment. Someone should take Joel to hospital.
Someone should check up on Joel.
And not just because of today, just in general. Just take him to the hospital. Like,
And-
checked out.
Like 10
Joel's
minutes,
talking to a tree.
10 episodes later, when we were all in like bad, crazy shit, I'll bring you back and be like, hey, has someone checked on Joel recently?
It's in your planner.
Joel's had a broken finger for like 2 weeks and nobody said it.
He hasn't noticed.
Hey, bro, you should get that checked out.
No, I'll
Just a
just
dangling
just
tooth.
Tape that shit up, bro. Like, it's cool.
just duct tape it to the finger next to it.
It's not how healing works.
Just sellotape it up, you know, like proper. Okay.
You
So,
probably catch him wrapping duct tape around whatever you heard.
At some point in biology, he heard that cats lick their wounds because it gets them clean, and he's like, "Bro, if cats can do that, like it works for humans as well."
he's like, ow, 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 ow.
I picture him sitting there trying to figure out how to lick his forehead.
Yeah. Isn't it weird how tongues don't go to your forehead? Like, what's with that?
Oh my god.
So
Joel's basically, I was trying to help Will feel good about himself.
yeah.
Look.
So shall we assume that a good kind of like maybe hour and a half, maybe even longer passes until it starts to get dark, at which point, like,
Yeah.
does William ever assert himself, or does it
Oh, no.
essentially? Okay.
Not at all. He just sits and watches people.
All right.
Like if George tries to like have a conversation, he'll give short like 2-syllable answers, but he'll answer and instead of just leaving or something. So he sticks around.
What I will say is that George, as it starts to get darker and it starts hitting towards like 6-7 p.m., you realize that you will have to be home because your mum is starting her shift at the supermarket at the store, and you'll have to be home for Alyssa. So you're gonna have to like make tracks reasonably soon. And
Absolutely. I think I probably push it.
I imagine
every day.
Yeah. I imagine you also noticed William getting a little bit antsy.
I think William basically thinks I've already missed biology.
Yeah.
The damage is done. I'm going to stay here and do the most I can with the damage that has been done.
I will
I'm
say,
kind of proud of him.
for your meta knowledge for moving forward, you were not noticed that you weren't there, and there are no repercussions for missing that class because.
Oh, okay. No, but
like not
there are no
you-
repercussions in the game, but there is to William. He missed
Oh,
out on
yeah.
knowledge,
Yeah.
man.
Absolutely, and it's the same for George and Joel and
Yeah, but George doesn't care.
yeah, and
Yeah.
Casey as well. You're like, there's no repercussions. You guys weren't missed essentially.
I imagine that George is one of those students where it happens so often the teachers have all but given up.
Yeah.
Like they don't really try with her and her buddies anymore.
So, what I'll say is, the sun starts to go down. And darkness starts to creep up across the city, across the town. George, you're essentially heading home. William, same thing?
Yep.
Do you want a kind of
Different
parting
direction.
scene, or
Uh,
is it just
I
going to be
think-
like,
I think
laters, nerd?
I think William leaves because George leaves,
Yeah.
and now he has no connection to the group that's still there.
Yeah.
Everyone else is a stranger. George is also a stranger, but less of a stranger than everyone here.
Yeah. And I will say, like, once you leave the skate park, you will immediately split up because you're in different directions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
was
was gonna
gonna
say.
ask-
So I'm heading.
go ahead.
northeast.
Go
No, I
ahead.
was gonna say we're heading in completely different directions.
Yeah.
Yeah, you live northeast. I live
Yeah.
down in the
So,
fours.
I imagine there'd be kind of like a, I'm this way, and like, I'm going this way.
Yeah. And I'd probably like glance in that direction and be like,
Yeah.
checks out later. I had a question. Where's Casey meeting the chick? He said, I think he told us I was just wondering if it's like in the vicinity. Could I walk past it on my way in a speedy way just to like
Oh yeah.
No,
see if there's a body?
he didn't mention where. When you split up after you got to town, he went up north, kind of towards the kind of richer side area of things. He said
Ooh,
he'd
in
be...
that case, can I ask Will to like keep an eye out for some dick bag?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just be like, keep an eye out for my buddy Casey. He's kind of an idiot.
Yeah, sure.
Thanks.
As you split off and go in different directions.
One more thing.
Yeah.
When we split up and go in different directions, like 30 feet apart, we'll gather every ounce of like social
Courage.
social courage he can and go like, hey George, this was fun. And then he turns around and leaves.
Did that hit any core softness in George's heart?
No, that's Katie crying.
Oh no, I'm asking to know.
A little bit, yeah. I'd say she didn't show it though.
No.
But that probably like wasn't really her goal. Like she wasn't out to have a Care Bear moment, like I said before. But it probably struck her a little bit, like, oh shit.
Yeah.
George gives you the incredible emotional middle finger and
The walk away. This.
Yeah. As you're walking down it's a pretty open area. There's a park like just behind the skate park itself. Big kind of like lots of trees and things like that. You see a man kind of hunched over, old, wrinkled, like very sunken eyes. And he's kind of like just dead-eyed staring ahead. He's not really in the way. He's kind of like propped up against the fence on the grass, like just off the path. But he has a little sign, like kind of cardboard sign that's in his lap that says help, and the P kind of like squiggles and goes off to the side.
And he's conscious, just like
He's maybe conscious. He might be high or drunk or something along those lines. Like he looks really out of it and like he can barely take much in.
she'd probably like if she sees him ahead of her, as long as he's not.
Oh yeah,
if she sees him ahead of her a bit, she'd probably like slow down and kind of scope the situation out, kind of like cynically at first, like the hell is this? Because I'm assuming this is not normal.
It happens. Homeless people sometimes.
But not this person. Not like this is this one person's
You've never
area
seen
where
this
they
guy
live or
before,
something.
no. He looks he looks in his like, again, hard to guess, but like 60s, 70s, 80s maybe, like old and like very like his clothes are quite nice. But they look kind of a bit dirty and a bit kind of, like they've recently been through the ringer.
I was going to say crack cocaine. This is during the crack epidemic. Maybe not so much in the 80-year-olds, but this is
Well, he's not quite that old, but he does look very kind of like life has been harsh, and his skin is very leathery, very wrinkly, and everything.
Yeah.
I'm thinking she's probably cautious just because of that the stillness to
It's
him.
right on the edge of your side of town, which is a lot rougher, and you know, like likelihood is that a cop is going to come around in like 10 minutes and move him on.
She'd probably like slow down and kind of scope him out and do like the side look in his eyes to be like, what are you looking at?
Yeah.
And then reach in her pocket if she had any change, like toss some change in whatever if he had a receptacle or something.
Not really, but you can kind of toss it at his feet or like somewhere.
Right in his face.
Yeah.
Pow! Just kidding. No, I'd probably just like gently set it at his feet and be like, sorry.
Yeah.
Diamond.
He's kind of like there's like a low kind of like moaning or something. I don't know if that moves you on quicker or not, but he's, you know.
No, she'd probably have comfort. Like at least he's alive.
Yeah.
Like he's alive. Like, and probably the idea, because we're in the not nice town, there's cops everywhere. Like someone will find him.
Yeah, someone will find him and deal with him.
Yeah.
So George moves on, starts heading towards home, slightly more run down, slightly poorer side of town. As she walks away, the camera stays with the old man, wrinkled and sunken-eyed, and we hear what he's mumbling, which is, "You and me, we used to be together.
Oh no!
Every day together, always." And we fade on Queenstown as the night closes in. And we'll finish there.
Stupid.
Well, it's fucking sad. I'm okay.
I gotta say, we had 2 songs this session, and both I was kind of jamming with. I was like, oh no, this is so sad, but
I mean,
dude,
they're
same.
good.
All the music, some of the like Blink-182-ish music that was going on in the scenes with Tori at home. I'm like, this is jamming, but I am about to cry and pee my pants at the same time. Like, what? But I mean, wasn't that what the music was? Like, if you listen to like Green Day and shit,
Yeah.
it's like the saddest stuff ever to like pop. You guys are all deep, dark people on the inside.
Yeah.
Like, that's sheeps. I understand things now.
Yeah.
I understand your cast building. You're all dark shits.
You have now been gemmed by me in a proper show.
Damn.
Along with LZT. I hope you both enjoyed your first time with me.
Dude, this was a blast. I'm so like, I can't believe it's over.
Okay.
Someone in chat said this earlier. They were like, I can't believe 2 hours has gone by. I'm like,
Right?
I was like, it's been 30 minutes.
Also, I could not believe having to follow up your insults about Casey and like George's like first scene. I was like, oh fuck!
Oh man, I can't be
shit.
I cannot top that.
I kind of love though that we're like opposing sides of a mean girl. I didn't do that on purpose.
Yeah.
But that's the way it is. Like, it's totally real, and I kind of dig it because it's like I didn't do this on purpose. But when Sheepy had us like do that shoulder, that shoulder check and like that acknowledgement moment, I feel like is part of that. Like, we probably don't challenge each other in terms of like.
Well, it's one of those like, if we ever fought, it would be apocalyptic.
Yeah.
we're the end of the world.
Because it's like dark matter touching real matter. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I like it. Honestly, it was intriguing.
I'm gonna go with this song for our little outro and talking about things, because I feel we left on a pretty melancholic note.
Dude.
How you feeling? I'm gonna hit up. I'm gonna talk to Katie first, because that was a her scene. Katie, hope you enjoyed the premiere episode. I very much enjoyed George.
Thank you.
What are your thoughts on what happened right at the end there?
I think it was really sad. I think probably because of where she lives and that part of town, it's probably a super, super common thing.
Wait.
To see what?
Are you aware?
What?
Did you not recognize those lyrics?
Wait.
You and me, we used
Yes,
to be
I was singing with you. I love that
together.
song.
Don't speak. by No Doubt.
I know. Oh, I know.
Okay.
That's why it was like super, super sad, but also super scary.
Yeah, sorry, I wasn't sure for a second.
I'm so sorry. Oh, no.
Yeah.
I was like heartbroken, but also terrified of him because that's what I was going to say. Like, I think this is a super common thing to see homeless people in the city. But had she heard that, she might have thought he killed Casey or something.
I will say no more.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Popular song.
Do you remember Casey saying that he had memorized the song and if he forgot anything else, he'd still remember that?
Yep. I'm not gonna say it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I need to write furiously for me.
Sorry,
Yep.
I thought you picked up on that.
I thought maybe he was a. I don't want to say what I'm picking up on.
Hmm?
Do you want me to say what I'm picking up on now?
Yeah, go for it.
She sucked his life away and he's the old homeless man. Whatever she is. Whatever this person is.
We established this. She's Canadian.
She gave him fucking Tragic Kingdom and sucked his life out his dick.
Well, who knows what happened. But yeah, he did make it to the skate park. It was a little late.
I just don't have to write furiously anymore.
It was 3 hours later or 65 years, depending on how you look at it.
I threw like
A
30
little
cents
later.
at him. Fuck.
So
Nice.
we're gonna give Katie a moment to break, and I'll move on to someone else.
Damn. Holy shit. But my character didn't hear him singing, right?
No.
No.
The camera heard it as you walked away. I'll tell you what. I'll open the floor for conversation,
Great.
and etc. Would anyone like to bring anything up or talk about anything? I will.
I just want to say that every single character had like the kickest asses moments in the show that I was just like, I feel for this person, or like
Yeah.
that I am vibing with this like particular theme of high schooler.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I thought all of Cece's like teacher related scenes were the greatest shit ever.
Oh my
Just
God.
like I know this person, you know what I mean? Like yeah, so good. And
We all know this person.
I also want to say that all of your characters are fairly outside of your comfort zones to a certain degree. So very good job everyone for playing them, because you fucking knocked it out of the park.
It's easy to work with it. I feel like it's really easy to work with like the high school trope and then just build from there. Like you start really tropey and then you just build out from it.
Seriously, it was hard. I would just try to think of the things I used to say to my parents. Just like just snotty, you know, whatever shit I said to my
Whatever, yeah. I
parents.
also really loved Will's like facts, only facts.
Oh, I just imagine Will
all
like
of this
sweating
soft
in those
shit.
theoretical
Abstract
classes.
knowledge. I can't write down abstract knowledge.
I also knew I was gonna have to take a direct dig at Will at some point during this episode because he was such
for
a
sure.
nerd. Like
Oh,
I
100%.
knew I had to. Yeah.
Nerds are
I know
nerds
it's
for a
because you're
reason.
jealous because you didn't get to play the nerd.
Well, and that's yeah, a little you know, you
It would have
made
been
your
too
character.
easy.
You
I
made
got
your
there first.
character, yeah. You made your character before me, so I had to pick. I had to play outside my field for sure. But I'm glad I did, to be honest.
I'm having so
Yo.
much fun.
The moment George kidnapped William.
Was not expecting
I'm
that.
Honestly, I was thinking Cecilia was gonna like go to the office and be like, "We need to call the cops. They're walking off campus. They're off. I can see them. Turn around." I could just see it. Like I knew her so strongly.
Yeah.
I love her.
Don't snitch! Don't snitch!
She's
But
already
why not
snitched, man.
snitch?
Well, that's like, correct me if I'm wrong. This is the impression I get from Cecilia is that she's not snitching to get someone in trouble. She's snitching because she thinks she's doing the right thing.
Yeah, totally.
Well,
And like
Look,
she's driven by the right
She
thing.
helped the vice principal by saying
Yeah.
that.
You also saw her home life, so you probably have an idea of where that's rooted.
Her parents think she's so popular.
Well, her dad does.
Well, yeah.
Her mum's. Well,
Her mom seems very dismissive.
like
Just
like.
taking her food out of her hand. Is like,
Well, it's like, yeah, you can't do this. Let me do this, kind of.
yeah.
I love that I got the opportunity to say thanks for dinner while Cecilia prepared it all, but then the mom put it on the plate.
Yeah. There was a moment when Cecilia's dad was like, "Oh, your friends are just messing around." Like, I know I had loads of friends at school. I know what that's like. And I just saw a couple of your hearts breaking for Cecilia, just like,
oh no.
That is hard to this moment. Like that, I think we've all lived that, where your parents think you're like way cooler than you are.
Yeah.
And you're like, I can't
No,
tell
no.
you.
My parents were very well aware how uncool I was.
Oh God, mine weren't. But that was one thing I wanted to say. Like Shibi said, we all did this on purpose. We all kind of chose characters that, believe it or not, are kind of outside of our.
Yeah.
Like this was not me in high school. I was quite a jock and kind of like a not this at all. And I think for us all building a character really, really outside of our comfort zone, you all did such a good job at creating
You
the
can say we.
home life that
You can
created
say we.
that person.
You can say we.
Own it.
We
There you go.
find the home
We're-
lives that
we're all
mirror what
killing.
these people are, and it's so deep. It's not like, you know, the quintessential trope you see on TV,
It's
where
not
it's like
the
the popular
first thing
girl
you'd
has
expect,
really
yeah.
encouraging parents, and
Yeah.
they're like head of the church, and they're super great, and they know how to bake. It's like she's mom.
Yeah.
Where are her fucking parents? She's mom. But then she goes to school and is like kind of also mom with all these like dumb bees around her. I don't know.
How did
You know what I mean? Like you kind of create the same situation in a way,
How did
Yeah.
you
subconsciously.
how did you feel about that transition from seeing Tori in school and then seeing her come home, and then the twins come home and she's like looking after them and dealing with that stuff? Like, it's an
Her tone of voice changed immediately.
Yeah.
That's why I typed in chat immediately. I was like, "Is she mom?"
Well,
I
and
knew
also
it.
I feel like she's just like more of a real person
Yeah.
when she's not in her social groups, if you know what I mean. Like I think there's opportunity there for like good scenes to happen outside of where it would matter what she said, if you know what I mean.
I hope you're happy with the siblings and family that you've
Yeah,
experienced
absolutely.
so far, everyone.
Absolutely.
They were wonderfully heartbreaking.
Yeah.
I'm real excited to see Will's.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm a
Gonna
big
have to wait a week.
I'm a big fan of the twins. I'll put that out there.
Yeah,
They're
the
a lot of
twins.
fun.
Yeah, Renee and Sam. Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, I will say the A's mean hugs kind of broke my heart a little bit. I wasn't planning
Get an
that.
A.
It just came out
Get
of
an
nowhere.
A, get a hug. Get an A, get a hug.
Cold sweat. That one. Getting A's
No
means
A's,
get hugs.
no hugs.
Well, but also like it's so totally. I don't want to psychoanalyze it too much, but it so totally speaks to like when Tori was younger as
Yeah.
well, because like she is absolutely like a want to achieve as much as possible person,
Mm.
and that's both social and grade wise, if you know what I mean. It's like a
That's so sad.
lot of ladder climbing to do because that's how you win.
You had to climb your parents' fucking ladder to get a hug.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. Any
Well done.
Here's one that I'm curious about. Of the 3 teachers and classes that we've experienced, what did you guys think as yourselves, not as your characters?
I liked all the teacher NPCs. I thought they were
Yeah.
different enough that it didn't feel like we were doing the same scene 3 times, which
Yeah.
was really good.
Same. I feel like it's super diverse. It's gonna be fun.
That's something I had to quite put. I was like, I don't want to put the same personality teachers and the same like vibe through all of that, and like
I also 2 things. One, I think we were all vibing to the last one where you went on about biology and evolution on the soothing music, and I was just entranced. I was like, keep talking, please. This is enjoyable to
Like
watch.
I wanted
actually.
to like inject some shit talk, but like I didn't want to interrupt your flow. You were going and it was like real
Yeah.
good.
No, it was so nice.
And also the fact that probably all of the classes and all of the things you said are foreshadowing for things that will happen later on. Sheepy.
me, never.
Ah!
Not me
Never.
foreshadowing. Okay. What do you say? We wrap up with a little bit of an outro from everyone, and we play that classic outro that has been made.
Sounds good.
We have to wait an entire week.
I know. I'm so.
This is
I
the
wanna,
worst part.
I just want to play again right now. You know.
That's a good sign, though, right? First day,
Absolutely,
we want to go again.
I'm gonna try to get more than 4 hours sleep next time, so I don't sit there yawning all the time.
Hey, honestly, for you saying you were super tired, you did not come off as tired.
I didn't notice a single yawn.
No, me neither.
I didn't notice anything.
Nope, you did great. You're a great faker. Good job acting.
Yeah. I will start just purely because I want to touch on a couple of things. So those of you who are like, hey, this is City of Mist. Where are their mythos? Where are their supernatural entities that are a part of them? So to give you a little bit of info on that, there's a crap ton of them in this city, in this town. They just don't have them yet. It will be random based on what they do, how they go through certain things, and as I said, as time goes on, they will find themselves on certain paths which will lead them to certain things. So all of the cast have just made a human being, a real-life human being who will end up encountering these things. And as you can see, Katie already has, and Syrinx also possibly already has. We're not sure what that is yet. Well, I know.
I didn't fail my roll, so I'm good.
Yeah.
I didn't get to roll, so I don't know.
The rich get richer. But yeah, essentially, if you enjoy the show, if you want me to make more shows, go check out the Patreon. That's the only important thing, really, is the more people who pledge the Patreon, it can be as little as like $3 a month. So, you know, every little helps. I'm not Tesco, but apparently it does. And I'm the only British person here. I'm going to get that joke.
I got it.
I got it.
Okay, cool.
We're worldly.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, exactly. We're worldly.
But essentially, there's a few things on the Patreon. I do a watch along. Currently, we're watching Girls Lost Tour, which is a really, really good anime that not many people know. And if you do come onto the Patreon, then you will get to watch me cry, because that series makes me cry every single time. And I've recorded it all, and spoiler warning, I fucking cry. So,
That's hot.
don't
I'm joining.
Don't shun me off track. Additionally to that, I do also put the shows I make. I put some form of module up on the Patreon for download. So, for example, I did a Vampire the Masquerade show called Sunkissed. I uploaded the module for that you can download, and you can essentially play Sunkissed, the show I did, after the end of the show. So you can just follow it on however you like. I also did a show called Drifting, which is a Traveler show, a Traveler system that I basically have provided you the whole world building for. So you can run a game in the same setting, because it's all custom. And finally, I did something called Dragon Riders. I made a system, very simple, very basic, but it allows you to play as both Dragon and Dragon Rider characters for each other. So if you have a Dragon Rider character, one of your other fellow players would play your dragon. And there's a lot of like different colored dragons that do different things. There's a bit of intricacy. It's not super deep, but if you're interested, go watch Dragon Riders, and then join the Patreon, and you can download it and play it yourself. So, with that, me doing my spiel out the way, where did we end up last time? Was it on Elf, I think?
Katie was last.
Oh. Let's start with Katie, and you can hot potato it to whoever you want.
Okay. My name's Classy Katie, and I too agree you should watch Dragon Riders. It's really good. Watch it. I do nothing worth your time if you don't watch it. So do that. Also subscribe to the Wandering Inn Patreon. Because without that, we aren't here. And Sheepy's not here. And we don't exist. And then we die. And that's sad. Thank you.
True.
Also, maybe drop by my stream. I stream Tuesday through Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
It's whatever. But the Patreon! Thank you so much for being here today. I had a really good time. This was amazing, honestly. I'm just stoked.
Big George energy on the Patreon. Shut up.
I was doing that on purpose. Thank you.
Do it, motherfucker.
And,
do it.
And a hot potato.
Oh, and a hot potato. Okay, who hot potato? I think I'm gonna hot potato to LZT. Poor boy's so tired. Get it out of your body, boy.
Hi, I'm LZT. I play a French guy in Eco. I also do leatherworking occasionally. Thanks for watching. You should go. You should do what Katie said with the Patreon. That's cool.
Patreon.
Yeah. I do leatherworking, like that backpack behind Katie. I made that. So yeah, but I also full-time student, so I stream when I can, which occasionally means there's a gap of like a few days. But yeah, I try to stream when I can, and I have fun. At the moment, there's a lot of eco roleplay going on, so there's more silly voices and stuff. You can find me everywhere at Lima Zulu Tango. I'm gonna hot potato over to F.
To me?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, snap.
Well, then, following in Katie's lead, I'm gonna try and do this like a little in character.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So
All right,
you
bitches.
you should absolutely subscribe to the Patreon for the Wandering Inn. If you haven't already, definitely do that. You want to be in that in crowd. If you want to find where I'm doing things, that would be twitch.tv/distractedelf. Also, essential viewing. So come on by. And Syrinx.
Also, essential viewing.
First of all, I can't wait until the episode comes where Sheepy can start the outro by saying, "Oh, I'll start with whoever I make cry the most." I can't wait until that point of the show has started where continuously he will say, "Oh, I'll start with whoever cried the most." Until we get there, hi, I'm Syrinx. This was really fun to play. I can't wait to see what goes on. I especially can't wait to see what happens when we get our little group together and start having to deal with some shit and maybe possibly being the only people we can talk to about this shit. But up until then, yeah, what Katie said, basically. I don't need to do my own outro, like literally what Katie said. Like Katie can say what she said one more time and just say instead of like her streams, just like sponsor my Twitter and it'll be like perfectly fine. So I'll leave a little silence here for Sheepy to post edit and then like put Katie's thing in again.
Can we do like bad lip reading where you just go?
But,
it's just gonna be occasionally I'm like putting in a word where it's like, go and subscribe to Syrinx's Twitter.
Yeah.
But until Sheepy finds the energy to do that and post edit, I guess I'll just say, hey, it was a blast that you were here. It'll be a blast if you watch next week as well. And see you then. And hot potato at Sheepy.
Hello, I'm Sheepdog. It's good to be here. However, it's the end of show. We are going. So, thank you very much, everyone, for watching. We will be back next week at the same time. Links down below on the stream and on the YouTube video for everyone who was involved in this show.
Thank you to Savvy Pie and Askren.
Thank you very much to Askren, who did the overlay and did the art for the show, and to Safi, who did both the intro and outro. If you're familiar with the channel, you will know that she rocks it every time, and I imagine everyone's interested to see what the outro is going to be, because it's fucking great. So let's go straight over there. Thanks for watching, everyone. We're off, and we'll see you next week. Do anything. Hold on, everyone. Hold on. Sheepy has not set up the outro. Wait. Wait. It's fine. Is this? Yes, it is. Okay. There we go. Everything's fine. No one panic. They can't hear you. So, outro time. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you. Bye. Crap.